party.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. On a Friday. Mayday. Stiles and Watkins. Dave, come get your phone. Dave, come get your phone. Carmichael Dave to the office. Please come get your phone so we can start the show. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Simone behind the glass for us today, taking us through a Friday where we're feeling real good. Not one, but two King games to break down for the preseason. And, of course, we have all of your Niners talk. Major League Baseball, those playoffs roll on. A showdown between the Dodgers and the Padres. What more could you ask for? Going to be a great weekend. College football even has some great matchups as well, even though there were some letdowns last weekend. We got more to get to as we break everything down. But we start first with the San Francisco 49ers. And Chris, you ever had sushi before?
Yes, I have.
So you know when you're eating sushi and as you're eating one roll and a different roll, you have some of the ginger because it's supposed to cleanse your palate?
Yeah, I don't do that, but yes, I know that I know that they provide it.
The Seahawks are the ginger to the Niners sushi roll. Every time the Niners start feeling like things aren't going right for them, you throw the Seahawks, at least under Brock Purdy, when he's under center, you throw the Seahawks on the schedule, and everything is going to be okay. Brock Purdy balled out, the Niners balled out, and the Seahawks look like a completely different team. And maybe not even a completely different team. This team did just blow it to the Giants, but every time we think that it's going to be a good game, I'm thinking, oh, it's the Sherman Bowl. Stop it. That rivalry, that's not even top 5 to me right now in the NFL. The Niners own the Seahawks right now, and they took care of business. But before we get into all of that, Chris, how are you doing on this Friday?
Good. Yeah, we got two Kings games this weekend. We got a loaded NFL schedule. We got the Niners game out the way yesterday. So, we kind of have a bit of a clear weekend ahead of us, and I'm excited. Always good to be here on a Friday. And Simone was telling me that there's dogs in the building today, so it feels like the entire building is on a Friday vibe. So hopefully it's a good 4 hours.
Well, we were getting ready for the show, and Jason's printing out the everything for Friday Fun and Games, and he's singing. We had the other station on throughout the building, and Jason's singing "Shawty Get Low, Low, Low." I'm like, who is that? Jason Ross,
big Florida fan.
Yeah. Talking to Flo Rida, listening to some Flo Rida to get you right on a Friday. And as we get right on a Friday, the Niners get right. Here is Kyle Shanahan on really, it's not just Kyle Shanahan, but this is from the Niners locker room, and they're basically breaking down everything, but it's Kyle Shanahan talking to the team after the game. This is from the Niners social media.
Came out, was aggressive, everything we asked for, man. You did it. You did the whole first half. Guys, nothing changed the second half. It's just a reminder of how hard football is. All right, you guys stayed with it. All right, what about the rookies today, man? I might mess it up right now. I think Malik got a pick. I know Renardo got a pick. Yes, sir. Guys, what about Isaac giving up his first career touchdown? Yeah, it was smart, man. It's waiting. Hey, don't let Juice be in your ear, man. All right, Juice got the TD. Matt, hell of a job, man. 3 for 3. Appreciate everyone here. All right, guys, we got 3 days away. All right, get off your feet, get your body right, get your mind right, take that break. Let's come back Monday ready to go, man. We're first in the division right now. Let's keep it that way. Yes, okay, feel me?
It was all bad just a week ago, and Kyle Shanahan, was that a "you feel me" at the end? Did he say "you feel me"?
I did not hear that.
Did he say "you feel me" at the end of that, Simone?
Himself, for sure.
Did I hear that right? Simone's trying to find it. Well, they definitely got right, Chris.
Right
here we go.
Let's keep it that way. Okay, feel me?
You feel me? You feel me? Yes, Kyle Shanahan, we feel you. And we have some sound here. Before we ask the question, are the Niners back? This is from Brock Purdy on the really the Amazon broadcast, which is better than what they have all over the rest of the NFL, Chris, as far as the camera angles are concerned. But here's Brock on playing in Seattle. It ain't the same as when Richard Sherman and Beast Mode were out there in Seattle. Here it is.
Obviously, the faithful, when they show up and travel, man, it's like we're playing at a home game, you know. And so it's the faithful, it's my team, and it's just always fun for you guys. Obviously,
this is why I don't do everybody bandwagons. This is not the time for that conversation, but this is why if this were to happen in the 2010s with Marshawn and with Richard Sherman and Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll, it wouldn't look like that. So when you say nobody bandwagons, just stop it. Everybody does on some level, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Chris, what were your first thoughts on the Niners and that W? And we asked the question, are the Niners back?
My first thought is that, man, they made that game a lot tougher than it needed to be for sure. And that's a little bit of a concerning sign. Definitely, it's great that the Niners were able to bounce back later and square away the game and really not have to stress about it too much. But yeah, I mean, really, I felt like a lot of people, probably were tensing up a little bit in that third quarter after the kickoff return. It really felt like the Seahawks got a new sign of life, and you really felt like, okay, here comes the Niners starting to do some 3-and-outs, and the Seahawks have all the momentum, and there was a couple plays away from really busting the game to a completely new ball game, and thankfully for the Niners, they were able to kind of weather the storm a little bit. Jordan Mason, they weren't sure exactly. He returned and rushed the first carry of the second half and then never came back. It was a really, really strange game for them in that second half. But I think the fact that they were able to kind of take a punch and then, settle themselves and then deliver a counterpunch, I think is a huge positive for them. They put up 36 points. I mean, that's some last season Niner type performance right there. I think they should absolutely feel great about their performance, but the tough thing is their next game's against the Chiefs. I know they have a long break before then, but so did the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And I think it was definitely a needed win, but I also think it is a really good culture locker room win for them, just kind of feeling like, okay, the roof is not, or the floor is not falling from beneath us. We still have a little bit of that DNA that we need to just bring out even more.
Well, that's a good thing to bring up, because when Kyle Shanahan, during that post-game speech to the team, where he says, hey, the second half just showed.
I heard that.
Second half just shows how tough football is.
He said nothing changed. He said nothing changed.
Is that true, Kyle?
Funny quote.
And that's what we always say, where it's very hard to, everybody says, oh, well, we won, but we still learned a lesson. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. When you win, it is very hard to still recognize what went wrong. If Geno Smith didn't look like Jets Geno, maybe they would have actually been in trouble. But because he was god awful, just terrible.
Those 2 picks were terrible.
I mean, just so bad that now the Niners are walking away thinking, hey, we're all good. We avoided it. We didn't let it happen again. Is that more about the Niners being better than they were last week, or more about the Seahawks need to figure out what they're doing? Because Geno Smith, I think we've gotten to a point now, and it's not just the fact that the Niners are his kryptonite. He has not beat the Niners since he's taken over as the Seahawks starting quarterback. It's not just that, because Geno, they just lost to Daniel Jones without Malik Neighbors and the Giants. So
they've lost 3 in a row.
So it's hard for me, Chris, and Nate's not in today, and Simone's got her gold jacket on, that her Niners gold jacket. It's always super swaggy. I'm not trying to be a hater, as we see people talk about Brock, and that's why I call it a palate cleanser, because the Niners, as of late, own the Seahawks. I saw memes, Chris, and it says Brock Purdy when he faced the Seahawks, and it was a montage of Tom Brady. This man loves playing against the Seahawks. That's why it was one of those tough situations where if the Niners lose, we know there's a big problem, but if the Niners win, I'm not going to sit here and say that everything is fixed, okay? Because they typically beat the Seahawks. Geno has not been good against the Niners. I don't know what it is. He just goes back. You talk about Sam Darnold seeing ghosts. Geno sees the ghost of his career's past. I don't know what it is, but he does not. He has never played well against the Niners, and Brock Purdy has always played well against the Seahawks. So as much as I want to be happy that the Niners did show up to play, maybe I'm being spoiled to say that I expected this. This is exactly how I thought the game was going to go. The Niners were going to come out hot. Geno was going to struggle at the beginning. Kenneth Walker couldn't get anything going. Then once the game is out of reach, Geno's going to air it out a little bit. Oh, what do you know? Just on cue, a special teams issue. We have some facts and stats on that as well. And then at the end of the day, when Geno has an opportunity, Geno goes, Geno with 4 O's at the end, and the N and O's are capitalized. So you should feel good if you're a Niner fan, but in the grand scheme of things, you were supposed to do this. And I don't know if that's fair or not to say, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little unfair just because you expected it. Like, they've performed under expectations, and so I think and they're held to such a high standard. I think meeting those expectations is still something that they should feel good about. And I think the only reason why they shouldn't feel positive to me is the schedule that they have above. I mean, or ahead of them, I should say. I think I've thought that they've played well. Really for the duration of the season. I just think that there's been reasons, small little reasons, honestly, kind of like their Super Bowl struggles. It hasn't been that the Niners are just getting blown out. It's that they have these 1 or 2 plays that are changing the entire course of the game and the results of the game. It's not some wholesale change that they needed to make, but if they didn't have the Chiefs and the Cowboys the next 2 weeks, I would absolutely say, okay, here they're about to go roll off some games and build a nice cushion so that in the middle of the season they can afford to drop some games, and it's just going to be a race to the playoffs. But I think with the Chiefs and Cowboys lurking ahead, those are 2 massive games, and there's a real possibility if they split them, if they lose both, we're right back to talking exactly where we were before this game, where, are the Niners in trouble? Is this just a 2-week anomaly, or is this who they're going to be? And the conversation obviously is going to start to shift more towards, playoff implications and things like that. But I think the real test for the Niners is right around the corner as they have these really 2 big opponents at home. They have to take care of business, at least trying to split them. But if you get 2 wins against the Chiefs and the Cowboys, everything's quiet. There's nobody who's going to doubt anything about this Niners team, and it's going to be right back on track to where we were last year.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, Chris, we'll talk more about it on the other side. Something's got to give with the Chiefs. I personally think the Niners are going to beat the Chiefs because I feel like the Chiefs have been on life support, and that's the only team that the Niners can't use the CMC excuse against because they have more injured skill players. And just like I called the Seahawks a palate cleanser, the Niners have owned the Cowboys. So it's easy to say. I think at worst they split, and I just don't see them losing to the Cowboys. I think maybe the Chiefs and Pedro Martinez has that segment on TBS during the Major League Baseball playoffs. Who's your daddy? Maybe the Chiefs win because they've just been the Niners' daddy, but there is just not a world where I see the Cowboys beating the Niners. I was on that last season, if you recall, and they never did it, so I'm done. You gotta prove it to me, and the Cowboys have not proved that they can beat Brock Purdy in this iteration of the San Francisco 49ers. But they got to play the Chiefs first. Coming up next, we got some Brock Purdy stats. And Debo, the first wide receiver in the NFL to do what? We'll tell you when we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
You've seen him on the roast of Tom Brady, and you've heard him host the #1 podcast in the world, Kill Tony. Now see Tony Hinchcliffe perform stand-up comedy live at the venue at Thunder Valley, Friday, October 11th. The man behind millions of views worldwide and countless sold-out shows brings his stand-up set to you, Tony Hinchcliffe. Critics call him a must-see. Don't miss this stand-up comedian, writer, podcast host, and professional wordsmith live in Sacramento. Tony Hinchcliffe. Get tickets at ThunderValleyResort.com.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sacktown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. on this beautiful, beautiful Friday. Shout out to our winners earlier in the week. The UC Davis football taking on Cal Poly. Going to be beautiful tomorrow, 80, 81 degrees. So have fun out there with your free parking and your family 4-pack. Sure, that's not the last time we'll do that, so keep on listening. Chris, we get into these Brock Purdy stats. It was still weird to me, and I don't know if weird is the right word, as we talk about some of the years past after the Niners went to the Super Bowl and those banged up seasons. It feels like we haven't talked as much about the training staff because, like I said, the Chiefs have been banged up. A lot of teams have guys that are banged up. But yesterday, and maybe part of this is the Thursday night game thing that we talked about a couple weeks ago, but Kittle's running to the locker room. Jordan Mason hurts his shoulder. There's a shoulder issue on the Niners right now. Jordan Mason hurts his shoulder. They don't think it's going to be serious. He tried to come back. He's going to get an MRI today. Matthew Wright comes in, looks great. He suffers the same fate as his predecessor, Jake Moody. We're trying to figure out, we can't even find information on that injury. Maybe that's a good thing. That's another shoulder injury. You look up every 2 seconds, Kittle's banged up. Debo gets into it with one of the players, and that play really helped the Niners because there was a face mask after the whistle. Just so many stupid mistakes by the Seahawks, by the way. Just they are a complete mess to me. But after that, Debo's holding what looks like his arm, his shoulder. Now, these guys, Kittle came back in the game. Kittle, bunch of touchdowns. He played well. Brock with a dot to him. We have that sound. And Debo played well as well. He had a touchdown too. But it's just weird, Chris. And somebody said, I'm glad the Niners won, but the way every single play, it seems like somebody is just hanging on for dear life. It makes me feel like this season is just hanging on by a thread. And the only reason I would give that cause a pause, because it kind of feels like that with every team right now. But when you watch a game through and through, not your Sunday, you got NFL ticket going on, maybe it's the same with other teams too. But yeah, when you watch the Niners, every play, somebody is down.
Yeah, I mean, I think that could maybe be one of the downsides of playing as many football games as they've played these past couple of years. You know, like they've played more football than just about any team, with maybe the exception of the Chiefs. And football is the sport where more than any, like the miles rack up really, really quick, and it could be something as simple as that. It's really early in the season, and there hasn't been much of spreading the ball around either. Maybe it is a little bit of these guys are a little accustomed to having, especially more so on the offensive side with the offensive playmakers, maybe they're used to maybe not getting this level of a workload like they have throughout the duration of this season with CMC out. It could be a ton of different things. It could just be bad luck, but it definitely feels like the Niners can't catch a break. I mean, with all the running backs, we forget that even Elijah Mitchell is somebody who this team was maybe relying on in the preseason, and he's not available. It's really scary. I mean, you're only 6 weeks through and you've had all of these injuries. You can't, it just doesn't make you feel good about, the Niners in January. Right. How are they going to look from a health perspective?
And that's what Colin was saying. I mean, they've always been a super physical team. Yeah. And, I've said this for years. We got Simone in here, so we got to talk about Love Island. Some people have types. Well, a lot of people have types. And Kyle Shanahan has a type when he drafts. He likes people that like contact. And that's all fine and good, but those guys, the mileage on those guys seem to be a bit different than guys that, I always joke, Chris, if I did play football, you can roast me if you want. I'm Tyler Lockett. I'm going. Have you seen those compilations where he just falls on the ground and waits for something? Oh, yeah. Because he's a smaller guy, and he's played for years by doing that. That is the antithesis of what Kyle Shanahan is looking for. He is literally the upside down version of Debo.
Right.
So is Tyler Lockett, is Debo going to play as long as Tyler Lockett? Probably not. But this is what Kyle Shanahan likes. Okay, let's get to these Brock Purdy stats because he was a stud last night. 18 for 28, 255 yards, 3 touchdowns. All right. And Brock Purdy, it's his 8th career game with 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. And during that span, Most games with 3 pass TDs and 0 interceptions since 2022. Jared Goff with 6. Josh Allen with 6. Brock Purdy with 8. Do not sleep on one Brock Purdy. Well, we know George Kittle isn't. Let's get the audio from that dot that Purdy threw to Kittle. Here it is.
Purdy throws and right at the pylon. Ruled a touchdown. Kittle makes the catch. Right at the pylon. Big spike.
That was the throw. I used to call him back in the day, Chris, or I still call him because he still has haters. Hater breaker throws. Those are the throws. The throw to Debo, I've already seen people try to talk that one down and say, oh, well, that was actually a bad throw by Brock. And then people say, well, if he does lead Debo, the safety's right there. That throw to Debo, not even Steven Ruiz can say anything about that throw. There is only one place that you can put that ball in order for it to be a touchdown. And George Kittle with the toe tap, like the late great Gregory Hines, great to see there. Let's hear from Debo. They were all hanging out. They love to hang out. Like I said, in Seattle, it's just a party in Seattle. Let's hear from Debo when he's asked what was working tonight.
Now that you got an earpiece in there, over 100 yards, touchdown for you. What was working?
Brock Purdy.
I like that answer.
That's it. Debo Samuel, Brock Purdy. Chris, that stat that I was talking about before the break, Debo Samuel is the first wide receiver in NFL history with 20 or more rushing TDs and 20 or more receiving TDs in their career. The wide back, the one and only Debo Samuel. Brock Purdy was a stud last night, Chris. That's just what it is.
Yeah, I mean, they were great. I mean, it's exactly what the doctor ordered. And, I think Brock's had a really, really good season. I was surprised to hear last week that Niner fans were upset with his play so far because I think he's been balling, man. Like he's only behind Geno right now in pass yards. Obviously, they have a little bit of a head start to the week, but I think he's been great this year, and I don't see why it's going to stop. I mean, they still have the full complement of weapons, and now we've even seen that he doesn't need the full complement of weapons. He's had Juwan Jennings go crazy. He's had games where he feeds Kittle. He's had the Minnesota game where Debo was the number 1 receiver, and they haven't even really used that $30 million receiver guy that they have in Brandon Ayuk either. Man. He had 2 catches last night. Like, I think that there's more that this offense can even do. And, we obviously can't forget that Christian McCaffrey is possibly waiting in the wings at some point. I just think that, the offense is not the problem here in San Francisco. I think that the defense is really the thing that ultimately is going to turn this ship back to what it was last year if it is going to get to that point.
Coming up next, there were some oddities throughout the game. We get into those oddities and what to make of them. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by RC Willey Home Furnishings.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's Friday. We're looking at mostly sunny skies for today. We'll have light onshore breeze as well. Temperatures will be in the lower 80s this afternoon. You can expect overnight lows to drop off to the mid-50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
This week at RC Willey, enjoy exclusive fall savings. Get $50, $100, or $200 off your purchase. Whether you're refreshing your bedroom, updating your kitchen, or adding warmth to your living room, RC Willey has you covered. Visit RC Willey today and fall in love with your home.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
For 76 years, the Keys family from Naturewood Home Furnishings has been serving families just like yours and mine. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with Golf to Go. The Naturewood team takes great pride and significant effort to offer Northern California families a vast selection of home furnishings, most of which are made right here in this country. The kitchen table, which we purchased so many years ago, speaks to the enduring quality of the Naturewood product lines. We treasure memories made seated around that table with family and friends for birthday celebrations, school projects, and many late-night meals when the day just got away from us. Naturewood has provided thousands with home furnishings that not only last for generations, but also lead to everlasting memories of cherished times. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings now during their 76th anniversary sale and get started making your own brand of memories. Meet the Keys family at Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
It's football season, and Uber Eats is dropping undefeated deals on all your game day favorites like Little Caesars. This week, buy one Ultimate Supreme and get an extra most bestest pepperoni pizza free from Little Caesars, only on Uber Eats. Craving even more? We've got you covered with game day deals on burgers, tacos, wings, and more all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms, taxes, and fees apply. See app for details.
Not to brag, but Progressive's Name Your Price tool is mankind's greatest tool ever. Even better than the wheel. Sure, without the wheel, we wouldn't have modern transportation or funny videos of dogs riding skateboards. But without the Name Your Price tool, we wouldn't have easy access to auto insurance options based on our budget. And, well, cars do need wheels. They also need insurance, and insurance never goes flat. Learn more about the greatest tool ever, the Name Your Price tool at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
It's the Big Sky home opener for the Sacramento State Hornets this Saturday. 6 p.m. kickoff versus Eastern Washington. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Before we get into the oddities from last night's game, and there were a couple. We have Steven on the line, 916-339-1140. Let's open up the phone lines. Are the Niners back? I just remembered I never technically answered on my side. No, they're not back because they never left. If they lost to the Seahawks, okay. But Brock Purdy remains undefeated against the Seahawks. Okay, we'll get that sound. Pedro Martinez. We need Geno Smith to say the Niners are my daddy because that's who they are right now. Geno winless against the Niners, and Brock's never lost, just like LeVar Ball. Let's hear from Steven. What's up, Steven? Happy Friday. What you got for us? Steven? Young Steven.
Wow.
All right.
All right. Steven's always so excited to talk.
I don't know. I don't know, Steven.
I feel like this is like an elaborate prank.
Yeah.
Or something.
I don't know, Steven. I think I disagree with that. You gotta elaborate a little bit more, but I'm saying that's an L. Happy Friday.
Rare L.
All right, let's get to the oddities of the game. This is a compilation from the Niners flagship on why Isaac Guerendo didn't score. There are basically two theories. The first theory is that Isaac Guerendo wanted to run out the clock, and the other theory is that he just got caught. You know, the burners were on, but somebody else hit the NOS button. Here it is.
Once I saw the seam and I hit it, I saw people on the sideline saying get down. So, you never know where that decision's coming from. So, just wanted to be safe, be smart right there. And then, I already told Juice he owes me one at the end. But, I was just happy to come out with the team.
Did you slide there at the end?
Hell no. We want him to score. And I don't think he slid. That's what he's claiming. I think 21's a fast player, and he got him a little bit there at the end, I think. I'll see it. You guys saw it. but it ended up working out better for us.
I don't know why he didn't score. I would have scored. He said he was looking at the sideline and people was telling him to go down for what I don't know. Why he looking at the sideline running anyway. But, man, that's just huge. It's kind of like next man up mentality. We always want money out there, but Ronaldo went out there and took advantage of the opportunity. Yeah.
Isaac went for however far that was, 70-something yards? 71, decent. And then he slid, too, just so Kyle could get a touchdown. Kyle's in everybody's ear about that stuff. It's hilarious.
We've all been waiting to see IG kind of turn it loose. We know he's a blazer. Reminds us a lot of Raheem Mostert. So I think Bobby T said he's an eyelash slower, but I don't know. The kid can run. So he said he was going down on purpose. So we'll give him that.
Yeah, Isaac getting in at the end and pulling away. It was sort of like a little throwback memory of like when Jordan Mason got in a couple years ago and he had his run at the end.
From what I saw, he slid. I don't think he got caught. From what I saw, I think I don't know who told him to get down. Kyle Shanahan saying, I didn't tell you to get down. Debo saying, why are you looking at the sideline? And somebody told him to get down because I thought it looked like he slid on purpose.
Yeah, to me, it was 1,000,000% a slide. I don't get maybe they're just trolling him. Maybe they're just trying to give him a hard time and say, like be more selfish, I guess.
Right.
But, no, I mean, it makes all the sense in the world to slide down. I even looked at it here and, he slides and then the Seahawks used 2 of their timeouts and that seals the game. And so I'm a bit confused. Like someone's going to have to explain to me why Kyle Shanahan would be so adamant that he's almost making it sound like it's crazy to even think of going down. Debo kind of had a similar, tone to him as well. I think it was the right play. Like I definitely think 1,000,000 times out of 1,000,000, I'm going to tell my running back to slide there so we can literally just end the game. You don't need the points if the clock hits 0, if you're already up. So, I mean, whatever. It's a really cool moment a fun moment for them. You get all the sound bites. I'm sure they're going to give Isaac Guerendo a tough time. I'm sure at some point here, he'll get his first NFL touchdown and it'll be a party in the end zone. But I was super confused especially hearing Kyle immediately say, no, we didn't tell him to go down. Feels like it feels like the Seahawks literally pretty much ran in Madden. There's a play Engage 8 where it's literally everybody except for 3 people blitz. Everyone drops back.
Right.
Felt like the Seahawks literally said, we're sending everybody. And if they score, they score. We get the ball back with tons of time and maybe we can do the onside kick thing again. I really don't understand why it seems like nobody on the Niners, at the podium is seeming to see Isaac Guerendo's side of it.
But then if you think back to the first piece we played from the post-game speech, he says, and how about Isaac getting down? That's a smart play. So maybe they are trolling him because that's what Kyle Shanahan said. My question is, either way, I'm not understanding. And here we go, Chris. I like my tinfoil hat. Grant Cohn, who the Niners are making a bigger deal of Grant Cohn than he needs to be. So Grant Cohn has got on Kyle Juszczyk because Kyle Juszczyk is on, in Grant Cohn's opinion, Grant Cohn writes for Sports Illustrated, covers the Niners. In his opinion, and we've had him on the show, his look is always a bit negative or pessimistic. That's how people say it. And, he doesn't say things in a terribly polite way. He's been on Kyle Juszczyk. Kyle Juszczyk got at him last week, about the whole locker room thing. Yes. Now he's referring to Kyle Juszczyk as Kyle Useless. Okay, so they're going back and forth. That's crazy. And now it's not me. Call me crazy. The fact that Kyle Juszczyk is putting Grant on Twitter, Debo's not answering his questions. Isaac Guerendo takes it to the 2-1 yard line.
You're going full conspiracy.
No, I didn't come up with this.
You're saying Guerendo's in on the conspiracy.
No.
Or people are saying.
No, I'm saying Guerendo did the right thing. Okay. But it's bizarre to me that Guerendo doesn't get to finish the run and get the touchdown if you're going to score the touchdown. Sure. It is weird.
It's weird. That's weird. That is weird. That's really, really weird.
Why not just let him score?
Also, why didn't they just kneel it? That's the part I don't
It's just very specific to Juszczyk.
Really enough time.
I don't know. I like stuff like
very
that.
Strange.
Freaky Friday.
Yeah, that part is definitely really interesting. And, they like to definitely give Kyle Juszczyk his moments for sure. I could see that. I'm not going to go full Grant Cohn and, go Kyle Useless is hilarious.
It is.
It's insane, but it's really, really funny. Yeah, I mean, it does feel like sometimes they, again, like we talked about yesterday, sometimes Kyle Shanahan really likes to let you know how smart he is, and it feels like Kyle Juszczyk is the embodiment of hey, guess what? You know this position that literally is almost extinct in the NFL to the point where, like, 4 or 5
him
teams
and Alec
even
Ingold,
have,
that's it.
Shout out Alec Ingold.
Yeah, friend of the show.
Our guy, Alec Ingold. It's like he almost is trying to justify him being on the roster.
That's what I think.
Where no other teams even hold fullbacks on their rosters. He's like, not only are we going to hold a fullback, we're going to use him like nobody else. And it feels like, you use him for these 4th and 1s or these goal line stands. And it's like, yeah, sure, you could give it to him, or you could have given it to the guy who got you 71 yards.
Yeah. And so to me, it was just a little.
That is a little suspicious. It's definitely a little suspicious.
And there was a post, Chris, that went around, and it was basically talking about the personnel, how many personnel the Niners used, and guess who quote tweeted it? Kyle Juszczyk. I'm just saying. All right, let's get to the other oddity, which was just bizarre. There was a play where the Seahawks pushed a Niners player into a Seahawks player. Clearly, the finger of the Seahawks player on a punt return touched the ball. And it turns out that all of us, if you were watching on Prime, had better technology than the NFL, which is alarming. Let's first play what Kyle Shanahan had to say, and then we'll play the explanation. Here's Kyle Shanahan.
The challenge that you made that you didn't win there, what were you told in terms of what angle they saw, whoever let you know, and then what was the explanation that they didn't?
It was awesome by Hamp. He because he said you could tell by how the guy's hand moved that the ball hit him, and then that's all he saw. But he couldn't 100% see the ball. But he said you could tell how the hand moved, and with it being Thursday Night Football, I thought for sure they'd have a bunch of camera angles. So once he believed that it happened, we threw it thinking we'd get some better angles, and then they just told me that he didn't. And then about 2 minutes later, I heard all the guys in the box freaking out saying they saw another angle and it wasn't fumble. So
the official told you that they didn't have either.
Yeah, they only know what they see. So they didn't see, I think, what everyone else saw on TV.
And here is the explanation on the broadcast of how that just went wrong. Here it is.
For 1 minute here. Terry, go back to that, the controversial play on the punt.
Yeah, Al, I spoke with Walt Anderson in the command center in New York, and what they're telling me, they did not get our enhanced video that we showed the ball touching the finger. What they had was the raw feed from our cameras, and it was not clear and obvious to them that it touched the finger.
That's obviously a gigantic play.
How does that happen? How does that in the year of 2024, Chris?
I don't know. As that happened, I had a thought of like, especially the NFL, like it is all of these sports. It's made for TV events, and why don't they just look at what everybody at home is watching? Because it kind of doesn't really matter in a way, it doesn't actually matter what actually happened. It matters what the entire watching audience sees and then thinks of it. And so if I don't understand, the bigger point is, why don't they just watch the television broadcast? If we see something, they should be able to see it. And if we don't see something, then they shouldn't be able to see it either. Again, it's I understand, that whatever, like it is more than just a television event, or that's what they want you to believe, is that it's, it is for the sanctity of competition and all that stuff. And they're just looking for the most fair result possible. But I just kind of wondered, like, how is it possible even that we see things that the referees aren't? They should definitely, at the very least, be able to see everything we see and more. The fact that we might actually have, as at home, better angles, better watching experience than the referees do looking at these plays, it just doesn't make literally any sense at all, especially for a multi-$100 billion organization like the NFL. They should have cameras at every single yard line, it feels like. Yeah,
it's just unacceptable. And, as they're starting to move on from, or they're thinking about moving on from the chain gang and technology. I mean, there's a lot on the line here. Don't even get me started on the sports betting aspect. There's a lot on the line here, and you can't make mistakes like that. No. You truly can't make mistakes like that. But they did. And now people like me that, love the tinfoil hats are going to say, well, this is bizarre. You know what I mean? Or people were talking about the Jordan Mason thing. Like, it's all just bizarre.
I'm really glad the Niners didn't lose.
Yes.
Because if they would have lost, that play would have been broken down to exhaustion.
And then let's say the Niners do lose, or even if the Niners win, is that all the NFL does right here? Because they don't do the 2-minute report.
They do not.
Like the NBA, which also annoys people, but the NFL just keeps it pushing, which which might be better. Who knows? The bottom line is you got to stop making mistakes like this. Coming up next, what exactly are the Seahawks doing? Well, DK Metcalf wasn't doing a dang thing last night. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for 3, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the second bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. Bacon.
You get the idea. And now, get yours with $1 any size soft drink. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
Model Year End pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the Model Year End event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Wendy's breakfast burrito has an entire breakfast in every bite. Fresh cracked eggs, seasoned potatoes, American cheese, cheese sauce, and sausage or bacon. So the first bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. Bacon. And the second bite is like fresh American cheese sauce. Bacon.
And the third bite, you get the idea. The boss of breakfast burritos, gotta be Wendy's.
Participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Not sure how much you know about Progressive Insurance. You may know us for insuring your home and auto. You may know a couple of our commercials. But what you may not know is that since 2013, Progressive has been honoring veterans with vehicle donations through the annual Keys to Progress Veteran Vehicle Giveaway Program, giving back to those who gave so much. Now, you probably didn't wake up today saying, I really wish I knew more about Progressive Insurance, but this seemed like the type of thing people wouldn't mind hearing about. Find out more about how we're dedicated to our customers and communities at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
You've probably heard the word, but do you know what a stimp meter is and how it works? Invented by Edward Stimpson in the 1930s, a stimp meter is a device used to measure the speed of putting surfaces. His version was made of wood and was simply a chute on which a golf ball would roll onto the green. Roderick Easdale writes in Golf Magazine, today's stimp meters are made of aluminum. They're 36 inches long and have a V-shaped chute down which the ball can roll. It has 2 notches on which the ball rests. After a flat area of the green is selected, a golf ball is placed in the notch and the end is slowly lifted until the ball rolls down the chute and across the green. The average of 3 distances becomes one of the measurements. The process is repeated in the opposite direction, and the measure of both directions is added and divided by 2. That figure in feet is the stimp meter reading. Most courses average 9 or 10 on stimp meter, which is neither too fast or too slow, just right for most recreational players. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Hey, October's already heating up on the Sacktown Sports live events calendar. Enjoy family fun at Dave's Pumpkin Patch in West Sacramento all month long. Pick your perfect pumpkin, navigate the corn maze, jump on a massive jumping pillow, and create unforgettable memories for the kids. On October 20th, don't miss Renee Vaca at the Crest Theater for a night of laughs and entertainment. And mark your calendar for Sinners and Saints, the region's best Halloween party on October 26th at the venue at Thunder Valley, complete with a $5,000 costume contest. It's the most spooktacular event of the season. Looking ahead into November, join us for Legends of Motown at the venue at Thunder Valley November 23rd, bringing you the classic hits that defined a generation. And you're not going to want to miss the Jersey Boys Midtown Men Holiday Show December 8th, also at the venue at Thunder Valley. It's going to be a night filled with festive cheer and old school classics. And stay tuned to Sacktown Sports for all your live event updates and your chance to win tickets.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sacktown Sports.
About to talk about what in the world the Seahawks are doing, because it's bizarre. But first, find Steven. Part 2, 916-339-1140. Steven, we got you this time?
Oh, we got it this time. We definitely got it this time. I apologize. I broke away from my phone, and, it was an embarrassment. I embarrassed myself. I embarrassed the community. You know what I'm saying? It's just how we roll, baby.
I got to be honest with you, Steven. We're getting closer. We can hear you this time, but
a little muffled.
You know those when we were kids when you used to talk through a cup? Yeah. Kind of sounds like that, Steven. What were you saying?
How is that? Is that better?
Oh, yes, we're back. The cup is gone. We're good now.
Do I sound much sexier?
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Anyway, so dude, that game last night was scary. All right, that thing was absolutely scary. For myself personally, man, it was a fun game to watch. Got a little close there towards closing the first half, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, man, that game was very nice and entertaining. And if I'm not mistaken, we have a potential beam lighting tonight. So let's go on that one, boys. I'm stoked for that one. I know you guys are too. I have a Kings related question. Is that okay?
Please.
We're here now.
We're on Niner Talk. Okay, we're here now. I'm sorry. So everyone talks about Malik Monk and all that stuff and what he really truly wants. When he came here, was the whole idea of him coming here to sit on the bench and to be that sixth man, or was there talks of him actually being a potential starter? Because I feel like that kind of plays into it too. Malik Monk's a great teammate. He's a great team player. It's just I know he's gonna ride for us. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna do whatever he needs to do in order to further his basketball career, to help us win, all that fun stuff. But when he signed here, I've always had that thought in the back of my mind of like, what was told to him when he signed here? Hey, we're going to potentially throw you in a starting lineup, or hey, we desperately need a sixth man, and we really feel like you could be that new modern day Bobby Jackson. Like, so that was kind of a thought process that I wanted to share with you guys. Also, Herter's looking bulky, my guy. He put on some weight in the off season, so I think that needs to be talked about too. So happy Friday to you boys, man. You guys have a good day.
Thank you, Steven. Thank you.
Well, I think Steven came up with that question on the fly. I'm going to say it
He
now.
said, I'm here?
I'm going to say it now.
I got my Niners
I don't think
take.
Steven knew what he was going to ask.
That's a Steven
he called.
segment right there.
I'm just going to say that now.
I'll just say it like this, Chris. I think the goal was to figure out if Malik could stay in the league. Yes. I don't think there was any question. Nobody was even thinking like that. It's what can you bring? I wouldn't say it was the same. Would you call it the same situation as what we got going on right now with McDaniels, or maybe not that dire?
No, it was not that dire.
Not that dire, but yes, same book, different chapter, if that's a thing. So yeah, I would say nobody was even thinking about that. They were just trying to confirm, hey, can you, because he started to play better on the Lakers, so it was just a matter of, can you continue to improve? He was just trying to build his way up, just like, Batman Begins, just get out of that cave. And I think, he started to get out of the cave that last season with the Lakers and then continue to climb out of it when he first got with the Kings. But I don't think anybody had plans like that at all.
Well, no, and the most important part is that Kevin Huerter came along the same exact time that Malik did, and Kevin Huerter was just coming off of playing in the playoffs with Atlanta, and he was the starter in Atlanta, had just had a really good year. There was really no question that it wasn't going to be Kevin Huerter in that starting spot. He had started for playoff teams, and like you said, Malik had struggled throughout the league, and then had just had a really good second half of the season with the Lakers, even though it was no Braun and no AD for a large portion of that second half of the season. And so people were even still questioning, okay, like he was good, but how much of it was good stats, bad team? So no, I mean, there was not really much of any thought of Malik starting from my understanding of the entire situation. And it really wasn't until he really started playing incredibly well last season and Kevin Huerter stopped playing at such a high level that the question of should Malik just fully be the starter moving forward really, really entered the equation.
Yeah, and you know how it is, 11 o'clock, we will get into more Kings talk. Did want to just have this conversation, Chris, because and we still haven't made an official segment, but people will hit me up on social media and just say those magic words, what are we doing? And today I want to feature the Seahawks, Chris, because I just have no clue what they're doing. I don't know, because you talked about, and I know Geno had that good season. What was it? I can't even keep up because he never plays well against the Niners. But they wrote me off, but I didn't write back. That was it 2022, and they pay him. They have a couple guys waiting in the wings, or the Sam Howells of the world. But Geno Smith is 21-20 as the Seahawks starting quarterback. And, he has not beaten the Niners. So it's very similar to, you're a good coach at Ohio State, or Jim Harbaugh, you're a great coach at Michigan, but you can't beat Ohio State. Then he finally beat Ohio State. It's very similar vibes to that. And I'm just not quite sure what the Seahawks are doing with Geno. DK Metcalf, Chris, is getting embarrassed by Diamador Lenore, and he just has to wear it. Diamador Lenore, he said, I just know the hyena can't be bleeped with. There was a lot of conversation out there. We kept it football, but, one of us showed up tonight. DK Metcalf, 3 measly catches. At one point, Geno is saying to somebody, what the bleep are we doing? What are the Seahawks doing? Just like you said, it's okay to have the bridge guy if you have someone waiting in the wings. They don't have anybody waiting in the wings, and Geno is not holding up a Lombardi. So what are they doing?
Yeah, I think this is the first season where you could really ask that question, though, to be fair to them. Like, I think, when Geno first came in there, let's not forget it was after the Russ trade, and, they had Drew Lock is who they got back for Russ, and so it was, is Drew Lock going to be the starter for the Seahawks moving forward? And it was very clear very quickly that Geno was the better option, and I think that they went for stability for a little bit, and it was, hey, in a post-Russ world, we're hovering around 500, and I think that was a real positive for the team at the time. I think last year was Pete Carroll holding on for dear life, and then Pete Carroll gets fired, and maybe they bring in a new coach. Maybe they should have brought in a young quarterback to go along with him, but I think that this is really the first year where you can confidently say, like, I think the Geno Smith thing is over. I think that it was a really fun story when it happened, but it's just very clear that he is a very high level backup. But if he's going to be your starter for any extended period of time, you should realistically expect about 500. But that's still a solid quarterback, especially considering how we see some quarterbacks go in their career. I think going 500 is at least acceptable, but I think it's very clear, especially, when they're 3-0 and Geno's leading the league in pass yards, it still looks like it makes sense. But now that, they've lost 3 in a row and Geno has that terrible game that he had yesterday, and then they lose to the Giants last weekend, I think it's starting to become clear that there's not much of a future for Geno.
Well, as a Raiders fan, I mean, I'm just getting PTSD.
He's next. He's next.
He's next
for the Raiders.
I was not.
He is the next Raider quarterback.
No,
come on,
stop it.
Come on,
stop it. What I was going to say, dump that, Simone. What I was going to say was that they are headed towards Purgatoryville. That's where the Seahawks are heading. They're not going to be able to draft a guy, or they're going to have to trade up because they're going to be 8-9, something like that, 9-8. Yeah. Oh, we might be able to get into the wild card and do absolutely nothing. Great. So they got to make some decisions. Or they'll be like a Derek Carr team or something like that. That's right. You know? Yeah, they'll just they'll get a different version of Geno. Yeah, right. and I thought they were supposed to have this young hot defense. Yeah. You have McDonald, who was the defensive coordinator with the Ravens. Didn't see it last night, but maybe that's just because, like I said, Brock Purdy is their daddy. That's just what it is. So I don't know what the Seahawks are doing. They got to find a way to stink, and they're just refusing to stink and embrace the tank because Geno, they wrote you off. You didn't write back. They're writing you off again. So you might have to pick up the pen, brother. You might need to pick up the pen. Coming up next, we get into Kings and what you saw against the Warriors. What do you want to see in the rematch that you saw on Wednesday? What do you not want to see that you saw on Wednesday? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting their focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Hey, Aggie fans, head coach Tim Plow here. October 12th is a date you're not going to want to miss. It's homecoming here in Davis, and we face off with rival Cal Poly at 4 p.m. for the Golden Horseshoe. It's also Junior Aggiette Day. So, kids, if you want to perform on the field with our cheer and dance teams, visit ucdavisaggies.com/tickets and sign up today. Let's pack the stands for this rivalry game and celebrate what it means to be a part of this Davis community. Go Ags.
Did you know every 3 seconds someone is a victim of identity theft? LifeLock wants to give you helpful tips to protect your identity this Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Adding multi-factor authentication, like a text with a security code, is one way to boost your security. But for comprehensive protection, trust LifeLock. LifeLock alerts you to suspicious uses of your personal info and steps in to resolve issues that arise, guaranteed or your money back. Protect yourself with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-885-9700. 800-885-9700. 800-885-9700.
DC here for Folsom Lake Kia, where they make car shopping easy with a huge selection of new Kia models, low payments, and 0 down deals with approved credit. Folsom Lake Kia, your trusted dealer in Folsom for over 25 years. FolsomLakeKia.com.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
KHTK-HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
The box I put you in don't come with no release date. That is from Diamador Lenore's Instagram with a couple different flicks and pictures from the game. One of them, as he is lined up across DK Metcalf. They're just down bad. It's just, and you know what? The difference is I feel like even when the Seahawks kind of owned the Niners with the Richard Sherman era and things like that, it still felt like there was more juice to the game, Chris. I don't know. There's just no juice to me with these games. You still think there's some juice?
A little bit, but not much.
Yeah.
Not much. Definitely. I mean, like you said earlier, like it's not like it's Marshawn out there. You don't got Sherm out. Like it's just not the same. It doesn't feel like the stakes have been the same. You know, they always say about the the Warrior King rivalry. You know,
right.
You got to win one to in order for it to be a rivalry, and it just hasn't really felt like the Seahawks have played spoiler to the Niners. Like, I mean, there's with the Rams, there's real playoff back and forth of, hey, the Rams got one on us, we got a couple on the Rams, and the regular season games, they end up being split. Obviously, the Rams just picked up a win over the Niners. It just feels like, the Niners have moved on, and that's kind of what happens sometimes when you have these teams that stay at the top like the Niners have is, your rivals kind of fall off by the wayside. Think about the Warriors. A couple years ago, it was the Rockets, and then, obviously the Cavs too, and then the Grizzlies pop up for a year, and now people want to tell the Warriors that the Kings are their rivals, much like the Niners. It's all these teams pop and go, and if you stay up top, the other teams probably aren't going to stay up there with you. And so I think that's kind of what we're seeing with the Niners is the Niners, they can say, what's the thing that you always tell? They've outgrown the Seahawks. It's just like outgrowing your elementary school friends.
Yes.
You're like, I don't know. I'm into wine now.
Okay. So we have Around the NFL coming up at 12:15. And after that, I want to break down, Chris, we're having fun on a Friday. Let's break down, because I said yesterday on social media, Niners Seahawks are no longer a top 5 rivalry. I want to see where they even fall. So we're going to break down the rivalries. We need your help. That's coming up at 12:30. We want to know who are the top rivalries in the NFL right now. But first, it's time to get into some Kings talk. 2 games this weekend. They go to the Bay tonight. I think Brandon Nunez will be in the building.
Yes, him and Frankie are both going.
They'll both be in the building. My old stomping grounds. Chris and I are going to hang out in Sacramento. Well, not necessarily together, but we'll both be hanging out in Sacramento.
Didn't
and Chris,
clarified.
Chris, you asked, well, the people need to know. And Chris, we want to know right now, what are the things that you saw on Wednesday that you want to see again? And what are the things that you saw on Wednesday that you don't want to see again?
For sure. I mean, definitely the first thing is undoubtedly DeMar continuing to look like how he did in that first game. You want him to look as smooth and confident. He probably can't go 6 for 6 again, but if you can get a version of him getting the same shots and, maybe even having a little bit more ownership over the offense, I think that would be great. I mean, you definitely want to see some of those bench guys show out like what they did. Alex Len had a really big game. Boogie Ellis had a big game. Isaac Jones looked really good in some spots as well. I think that's really the main thing. And, first and foremost, actually, before all of that is stay healthy. I mean, that is first and foremost. We read the injury report twice already this week that the Kings are dealing with. They can't have any more of these guys pop up with injuries and maybe miss the start of the season. It's stay healthy and just get a good run in. And, honestly, again, results don't really matter. Wins and losses don't matter in the preseason. It's about comfort. It's about getting these guys into some sort of game shape, and everything else that happens is kind of gravy. But number one thing is stay healthy. Number 2 is I want to see DeMar continue to just look comfortable in this offense and maybe expand his game even a little bit more. Yeah.
Well, the first thing is specifically because you're facing the Warriors again. First thing is let's not have 1,000 threes again. Let's start there for the things that we don't want to see. We don't want to see Jonathan Kuminga, was he 4 for 7? We don't want to see Draymond Green. But honestly, as I'm saying that out loud, if that happens, cool. What we don't want to see is Buddy Hield. What was he, 6 for 7 or 7 for 8? 6 for 7. We don't want to see that from Buddy Hield. We don't want to see Brandon Pajemski 2 for 4. We don't want to see DeAnthony Melton, who had a good night as well. Focus on the shooters and get them off their spots. If Jonathan Kuminga has been following Steph around and now all of a sudden he's just going to be a 3-point shooter, we'll deal with that. We'll deal with that later in the season when it's real deal. But for now, stick to your plan and get the shooters off their spot. That's what I want to see that I did not see on Wednesday. And what I did see and what I want to continue to see is I want to continue to see Keegan Murray make his mark, right? I don't believe Keegan had a 3 in the first game. So get that. It's not a monkey off your back because it's the preseason, but Keegan continue to be aggressive and continue to show. That's the thing, Chris, this whole big 3 conversation that we're having with Sabonis and DeRozan and De'Aaron Fox, what really unlocks a team, and we've seen it with the Boston Celtics, not to necessarily compare the Kings to the Celtics, is you just have to have dudes that scare you all over the floor. And if Keegan Murray can not just be a guy who 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'll throw it to Keegan so he can check up a 3, but no, Keegan might go in and take over a game too, or Keegan has that look in his eye. That's what I want to see from Keegan Murray that I didn't necessarily see. Obviously, there was a lot to diagnose from one game, but I for sure want to see Keegan kind of continue to take that step and that growth in his game. Even though you got DeMar on the floor, Keegan, they're going to be DeMar, DeRozan, and Sabonis. That's still not enough. I mean, you had the Celtics who had Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. They had guys for years. They add Porzingis. They add other guys. The Nuggets, right? You need that. You need everybody to be a threat and not just a threat where, oh, they got lucky. No, a threat to, you better not leave me or we're going to have some problems. So that's what I want to see from Keegan.
Yeah, I definitely would like to see something we didn't see on Monday. It felt like De'Aaron kind of, not that he took the night. I mean, he had the most shots of anybody in the game, but it just didn't. It felt like they were definitely trying really hard to get DeMar involved early, which I definitely appreciate. Again, you really want this preseason more so for any of the starters is about getting DeMar comfortable in the offense. All these guys have played together for the most part. I understand completely why you want DeMar to kind of get the nerves out, get the monkey off your back. Don't have the, oh man, I haven't been able to really get into my game and I'm only going to play, half of the first half or anything like that. So I understand why it was important to get DeMar going early, but I understand it's preseason and you want these guys to kind of take it easy a bit, but I want to see De'Aaron Fox, maybe just look a little bit more like the traditional point guard. It didn't really feel like he was setting up the offense much at all. And I know that's kind of the nature of the Kings offense, but didn't really feel like he was himself looking to get going. Took a couple mid-ranges. I'd like to see a little bit more of De'Aaron Fox have a nice night tonight. And then Keon Ellis. Keon only took 2 shots the other night. Still had 4 assists. He was very involved. I saw some plus-minus numbers that he had that were really excellent, but only took 2 shots, didn't take a 3. I think that's going to be the thing throughout the season that we're going to just continue to monitor is how involved is Keon Ellis in the offense, and is he becoming not because he doesn't have the ability, but just because maybe the ball isn't going his way, is he really as involved as what he should be? I would just like to see Keon maybe be a little bit more involved in the offense, as we talked about earlier this week, with the shot distribution being so even. Sabonis 7 shots, DeRozan 6, Keegan 6, and Malik Monk had 7 as well. Keon Ellis only having 2. I understand somebody's got to sacrifice it, and it makes the most sense absolutely for it to be Keon. But I think if Keon's going to be in that starting lineup, I would like to see him have a little bit of an offensive role carved out for him. And again, I think some nights the ball's just not going to find his hand, obviously with DeMar and De'Aaron and Keegan and Sabonis being the focal point of that unit. But I would just kind of like to see what Keon looks like and how comfortable he feels with those guys out on the floor with him.
Yeah, great call. Keon, to me, everyone that was the DeMar DeRozan game. That's what it felt like. Let's get DeMar DeRozan going. So maybe we're not going to be able to see all these things, but that's why you know, much to my chagrin, you got 4 preseason games.
Got
so
one on Sunday.
You know what I mean? So you got one tonight, you got one on Sunday. So maybe when we get back on Monday, it was, hey, De'Aaron did his thing and took control. It was De'Aaron and Keegan on Friday.
Yep.
It was Keon and whoever else, Malik again on Sunday. We've seen what we need to see. I don't even want to, you know me, I don't even want to play DeMar DeRozan again, but that's not realistic. But I will say this, Chris, as we have Ward in the Sack Chat, our YouTube, if you're listening and want to find us on YouTube as well, hop on 1140 Sacktown Sports on YouTube and join that community today. Some nice people in there. I will say this, as Ward is saying, if McDaniels doesn't play well tonight, I want to quit the experiment. And I responded to Ward and I said, they don't have a choice right now. Yeah. No Trey Lyles. Okay, you have no Trey Lyles, and they were thin to begin with. That's why the idea of Jalen McDaniels being the savior in that regard just wasn't really what anybody wanted to cook up. But you're going to see more Jalen McDaniels, and I'm hoping that we see something to make us feel better about the situation, Chris, because I know, you know, we can discuss trade deadline moves and things like that, but you never know what could actually happen there, especially when you're talking about a kind of a backup wing and that being overpriced because everything is inflation now on the court and off the court. So I just think it's an issue, and it would be much easier if we could just get what we need from that position from Jalen McDaniels. Am I asking too much? Maybe, probably. I've only seen him play a couple times, but it would be really nice if we could feel better about that position because, you know, Trey Lyles and that injury, if Trey's going to play some of the 5 as well, it would open up some things. I know we should not have crazy high expectations, but it would be nice. So that's not even, it's something I would like to see. Am I expecting to see it? Not really, but hopefully some type of improvement there.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen's going to be huge for this team for the short term, at least until Trey comes back. They need some forward depth, and Jalen at least has the size to get it done. He just needs to be a little bit productive on the offensive end and use his size like I know he knows how to. It's going to be big for him in the preseason. If he doesn't perform, that's what the preseason is for, is to get as much reps as possible so that he can at least be a usable piece of the rotation, hopefully by the time the season starts. The other thing that we didn't see that we really should look out for over the weekend is the offensive rebounding. Mike Brown talked about it, the new philosophy that this team has. They want to really attack the offensive glass. They only had 8 offensive rebounds in that first night against Golden State. Golden State only had 4. So at least they win the offensive rebounding battle, the extra possession battle. But at the same time, it feels like 8 isn't quite the number that Mike Brown was looking for. I'd like to see that number get around 12. If they can get 15 in a game, I mean, that's really where you're cooking and you're really damaging the other side. But can they get to double figures for offensive rebounds, I think is something that Mike Brown's probably going to look for every night from this team.
Coming up next, a fan favorite joins the Kings, albeit in Stockton. We'll tell you who it is when we return. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
You know, a lot of times you have to choose between something high quality or something that saves you money. But if you could get both, why not? Especially when it comes to healthcare, and that is MediShare. You get both. Many families save $500 a month with MediShare, and that's huge. But it's also true that people wind up way more satisfied too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. That's because MediShare works. It has for more than 30 years. It's a community of Christians who have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth. They love the huge PPO network. So yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price in 2 minutes. Here's the number. Just call 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE. 877-26-BIBLE.
Sacktown Sports. Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
There is a segment of Kings fans that are about to rejoice. Okay? And when I say rejoice, it's fan favorite. The shimmy is coming back to Stockton. The Stockton Kings have agreed to trade the returning player rights, Jordan Ford and Deontay Burton, and a 2025 second-round NBA G League draft pick to the Wisconsin Herd in exchange for the returning player rights to the one, the only, Drew Timmy. He's back, Chris. Back in the flesh. How you feel?
With the Stockton Kings.
With the Stockton Kings. For now.
I'm unmoved. Very, very unmoved. Very unmoved. Drew Timmy he's been around, he stayed in college all those years. I think everyone has a very good idea of Drew Timmy and what he is, and he's going to be a really good G League player, but I just don't see an NBA career for him. Yeah.
Well, anything can happen. I like what I've seen from Drew Timmy. I understand where you're coming from. And, I do know that you did have a special place in your heart for Jordan Ford as well. And I know, he's playing overseas right now, but, that kind of officially ends the connection with Jordan Ford, who, local guy. And we love what he brought to the table. And ultimately, yes, sure. None of these moves are going to be the reason the Kings get to the 50-win mark or get to the second round, anything like that. But I do like what I've seen from Drew Timmy, and I do know that people love a good fan favorite. At the very least, it gives that collection of Kings fans a reason to go out to Stockton, which is always a great time. I know Brendan, Frankie, and yourself, you've been out there as well. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what Drew Timmy does. I know he's basically the scout team. He's going to be the scout team Sabonis down there for the G League team. So we'll see what he brings to the table.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, again, I think he's a really good G League player. He's been around the league. He's a really good professional. We've talked about how the Stockton Kings really tend to lean towards these older guys. It's actually really sad that Deontay Burton's part of that package that moves out. He's been a staple for that Kings Stockton team for a couple years now. He's been a really good player. At one point was an incredibly hyped prospect. So yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate to see those guys go, but I think Drew Timmy's going to be a great locker room presence for that team. And I think it's definitely the type of guy that I think the Kings want to bring in. He'll probably play next to Scal in the G League as well. Stockton's got a really, really good G League program. They went to the finals last year. They've been to the finals a couple different times, or at least made deep playoff runs a couple different times. And it seems like if Colby's going to start the season down there, I don't think Mason's going to start the season there because McLaughlin's injured with the big club. But I think the Stockton Kings are going to have another really successful season. They have a lot of talent. They just announced their coach and GM the other day. So I think they're fully ready to kind of get that season going too. I think that's in November, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, Mike Brown is fully ready to see the Kings return to their old shooting ways. Here is some sound on what he wants to see.
Last year, I think you guys were around top 5 in attempts. Do you want to stay around that coming into this year?
Oh, for sure. And it's a little bit of a fine line, because if you guys, bless you, because if you have players like in DeMar that are such elite mid-level scorers, Keegan may be that, he's still too early to determine. Box could be that, Malik can be that. You always look at shot profile and you think layups or threes, and when you have guys that can go get it in a medium game, you kind of want to let them have some freedom to a certain degree to be able to go do it. I was part of a series that in the playoffs when I was with the Warriors and we played the Rockets back in the day, and their shot profile was, hey, you either got to take a layup or you got to take a three. And we knew that. We knew they weren't going to shoot the in-between game, and so that's what we geared our defense for. And I think they ended up missing 20-something straight threes or something like that. We ended up winning the game and the series, in my opinion, because I think they might have had guys that could do it. I don't know, but they didn't do it. And so we only had to guard 2 areas of the floor. And so, again, if you have guys that can do it, to a certain degree, you want to give them some freedom as long as it's not too much and the shots going in. But I was happy overall with our offensive performance.
27 straight threes for what it was worth.
27.
People don't forget.
No, never.
And for what it's worth, the Kings last season shot 39.3 threes per game. That was third in the NBA. So it's not as if, this team was a middle of the pack 3-point shooting team and they just had, a little bit of a lower number that's going to mess up their average. It was completely pedestrian for them to have 27 3-point attempts the other night. Now, granted, the starters only played half the game. I think that plays a factor into it. I think some of it is maybe that HB would take 3 to 4 a game, and then you replace that with DeMar. DeMar only took 1, and then Kevin Huerter's not playing. Things like that. There's definitely reasons why, but I think mostly it's just a bit of an anomaly. If I had to guess, and Mike Brown kind of said it there, I think they want to be more towards where they were last year. I don't know if they have necessarily the same, shooting personnel with Chris Duarte leaving and Sasha obviously leaving as well, HB leaving and not really replacing those guys with high volume shooters. Like Jordan McLaughlin's a high percentage shooter, but really only took one a game last year. The number probably will end up somewhere near 35 to 37 if I had to guess. I think 39 or 40 is definitely a lot for this team. I think you've pointed out to me that the Warriors are planning to take a ridiculous amount of threes this year. I feel like the Kings are going on the opposite end of that. Like Mike Brown said, when you have players that that's kind of what's in their bag. DeMar is a mid-range god. De'Aaron loves that free throw line extended jumper. We saw Malik hit a really tough step back jumper off the dribble from the mid-range. I just kind of think that that's more the range that this team excels at. And I view it more of a like Mike Brown said, a 3-level scoring option, which is something that frankly was a very under talked about thing in that first Beam Team season. It was my favorite number from that year. They were top 10 in efficiency in all 3 levels of shooting that season. They were top 10 in efficiency at the rim, top 10 in efficiency from the mid-range, and top 10 in 3-point percentage as well. That's the kind of thing that makes you an impossible defense. You were talking about Keegan Murray making this offense lethal by having all 5 guys on the floor be threats. That's the kind of thing that can lead to this team just being an absolute nightmare to face, is if you really don't know, hey, if they're driving, like Mike Brown said, hey, we knew the Rockets were going to, if they drove, they were going to drive all the way to the lane. They were not going to stop and pull up for a midi. It was not in their philosophy, really, even. If you're a team that you don't know if they're going to drive all the way to the rim, you don't know if they're going to stop and take a floater, you don't know if they're going to stop and pull up from mid-range, you don't know if they're just going to drive and kick for 3. There's so many different options. You can't guard everything and you can't guard everyone, and I just think it's a nice layer to have. It's about finding the balance, and that's, again, what the preseason is for, and I think that's what they're really going to try and focus on these next couple games, is figuring out, okay, how do we maybe balance out where we're taking our shots?
Yeah, it almost sounds like he's still trying to figure it out. We want to take more than what we took. And this was yesterday. So they're talking about want to take more than we took in that first game, but we also don't want to be as reliant as we have been in the past. So somewhere in the middle there, which I think, a lot of Kings fans should feel good about. The preseason game is the preseason game. It is what it is. But how many texts, just a couple of days ago, Chris, how many texts did we have to see last season and even leading up to where we are now today on the Kings take too many threes, the Kings take too many threes. They're going to continue to take threes, but it does feel like they want to add that new wrinkle, and that you literally have to. I know DeMar hit a 3 in his debut, his preseason debut, but that isn't really what his bag is. And De'Aaron Fox has said, I don't want to take as many. I'm good with the catch and shoot threes. I don't want to take as many off the dribble threes. So we know they're starting to understand who they are and where things are going to make sense for them. So truly, I think it's just going to be, you talk about a transition, Chris, and we've talked about a transition with the team as far as personnel and who's going to do what and do this or that on the offense. They're still transitioning to figure out what is the new identity of who we're going to be offensively as well. Coming up next, part of the identity will be when Trey Lyles returns. The Athletic talks X factors for every team. And yeah, I just spoiled it. We'll tell you who it is for the Sacramento Kings when we return. Stiles and Watkins, Sacramento Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead.
Get your Kings fix all season long right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for Ram Power Days?
Save up to $15,000 off MSRP on new 2024 Ram 2500 Tradesmen. Plus, with over 400 new Ram trucks available, you're sure to find that truck you need at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center.
That is some of the best savings you've had all year, Chad.
Yep, and you won't find better deals on more Ram trucks than at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center. There's a reason we continue to be one of the biggest Ram dealers in the country, with numerous customer service awards, including the very prestigious Walter P. Chrysler Award, which means we are in the top 1% of dealers in the nation. Once you buy from Hoblet, you won't buy anywhere else.
Don't miss the savings at Hoblet. Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet. Period.
15,000 total net savings after 8,500 factory rebates and 6,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include 2,000 Hoblet Select inventory coupons, 2,000 Hoblet trade-in assistance, must have qualifying trade-in, and 1,500 commercial bonus cash. Must have proof of business ownership. At least 5 of this net savings. Coupons available while supplies last. See dealer for details.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emron Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
For 76 years, the Keys family from Naturewood Home Furnishings has been serving families just like yours and mine. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with Golf to Go. The Naturewood team takes great pride and significant effort to offer Northern California families a vast selection of home furnishings, most of which are made right here in this country. The kitchen table, which we purchased so many years ago, speaks to the enduring quality of the Naturewood product lines. We treasure memories made seated around that table with family and friends for birthday celebrations, school projects, and many late-night meals when the day just got away from us. Naturewood has provided thousands with home furnishings that not only last for generations, but also lead to everlasting memories of cherished times. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings now during their 76th anniversary sale and get started making your own brand of memories. Meet the Keys family at Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Do you have old baseball cards and sports memorabilia from the 50s and 60s collecting dust in your closet? They could be very valuable in any condition. Find out at the Sports Cards Roadshow. We'll be in the Sacramento area to evaluate your old and modern sports cards. Visit sportscardsroadshow.com today to schedule your appointment. Ask about your free on-site sports card evaluation. For large vintage and modern collections, we can come to you. Skip the garage sale. Sports Cards Roadshow is buying. Call 1-800-560-3272 today or visit sportscardsroadshow.com.
The Sacramento State Hornets are back at home this Saturday. Come check out the high-flying Hornets as they host the Eastern Washington Eagles. It's the Big Sky home opener, Saturday, 6 o'clock at Hornet Stadium, where we're celebrating cancer awareness and healthcare appreciation. Come watch some great football and stay for the post-game fireworks. Tickets are on sale now at hornetsports.com for Sacramento State and Eastern Washington. Stingers up.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/SacktownSports1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
It's hot off the press from The Athletic, John Hollinger of The Athletic, which off-the-radar players might make a big impact this season. For the Sacramento Kings, Chris, John has Trey Lyles, and he has Trey Lyles. At this point, I don't even know what to do with positions, but Trey Lyles has a C next to his name for center. And this is what John had to write about Trey Lyles. The only thing standing between Sacramento's front court depth being a yikes-level disaster, Lyles is just 6'8" and is more comfortable at the 4, but likely has to stand in as Domas Sabonis' backup at the center spot on most nights. A stretch option who made 38.4% of his threes last season, Lyles otherwise tailed off after productive 2022-2023 scoring at a much lower rate and almost abandoning twos entirely. We've talked about that for sure. More than 2/3 of his shots were threes. If the 28-year-old Canadian can revert to the player he was for the Kings in their dreamy, beamy 2022-2023 campaign, that would go a long way toward shoring up an area that on paper looms as one of their biggest weaknesses. Playing on an expiring $8 million deal, he'll have plenty of incentive. Just some Alex Len disrespect. Is that what you're getting from that?
No, I mean, I get that he doesn't watch Kings games because Trey Lyles didn't play much of any backup center last year at all, even though I really was clamoring for it, especially at the beginning of the year. But no, even Basketball Reference has Trey Lyles playing center 17% of possessions last year. And so, yeah, I mean, Hollinger is just a little bit or a lot of it off with that one. He really didn't spend much time at that spot, but he definitely can play it. And I think he's a nice little counter option if the Kings do want to go a little bit smaller and maybe not sacrifice size completely. I think Trey is almost a perfect small ball 5, but they just didn't go to it a lot last year. I wonder if maybe this year that changes. I don't really have a feel on which way that's going to go. But I do think that's a really big season for Trey, undoubtedly. Like he did have a really, really productive first beam team season. And last year, whether it was injury or even when he was out there, it just didn't really feel like he brought the same energy or the energy followed him off the bench in the same way that it did in that first season. And he's got to get back to it. We kind of talked about it, I think a couple weeks ago. Like if Trey doesn't have a season of impact, I think that you have to seriously consider, I don't know if you have to move on from him, but you might need to consider maybe bringing in somebody else for that spot because the Kings are so light at that front court spot. You need all of those guys to be productive. Trey has been productive. It just really didn't feel like last season, and maybe it is because of the shot distribution that Hollinger kind of mentions. He just needs to feel more impactful in games in which he comes in, and I think he can, but I think this is going to be a really big season for Trey, kind of cementing who he's going to be throughout his prime here as he's entering it. Yeah. Trey could definitely be a really impactful player in a rotation for a playoff team, or he can end up being where the Kings got him. He could, the Kings got him from Detroit and he was averaging like 11 and 7. He can be one of those guys too. It just kind of really, I think, is determined by how he plays this season.
Offensively, when Hollinger talks about Trey and the 3-point ball, and I talked about it last season when we were doing shows, just as far as, he's there to shoot. That's fine. If he's hitting, it's really fine. If he's not hitting, at least he's still spacing the floor. Do you think, and we talked with, it was with Malik Monk, but when we talk to guys, when you're hitting your prime and the idea of expanding your game or just really zeroing in on what you do well, do you think Trey needs to find more of an offensive bag, or, hey, just be really good at who you are and just hit threes at as high a clip as you can?
Well, I don't really know what expanding his bag. Like, he shoots the three at a really high level, 38%. And he's good around the rim. He's never going to be somebody who's creating off the dribble or anything like that. I don't think they want him to be much of a playmaker. I think he's just got to do what he does and continue to do it well. As long as he's hitting those threes at a reasonably high clip, like I think he's going to be impactful. I think if he loses one of the elements of his game, that's where maybe he kind of falls off a bit, because he's not like a Davis Bertans from three, where he's lights out and he's shooting over 40%. And he's also not really like my favorite kind of guys like the Montrezl Harrells of the world, where he's bringing, crazy hops and energy and, attacking the rim with ferocity. I think that's what makes Trey, is the duality of both. And Mike Brown mentioned when talking about offensive rebounds that Trey is actually the guy that he thought crashed the best last year. That's maybe where Trey can expand his bag, is getting more offensive rebounds and putbacks off of it, or even kicking it out for three after getting it. I think maybe that's the place where, if we are going to see Trey's numbers get better, I think that could really be where it is him crashing the glass and getting putbacks or getting kicking it out to open guys for three. But besides that, I think he is who he is, and they're really going to utilize him in the pick and pop game if he is going to play that backup center.
Yeah, I think for me, especially, last season was the most I watched Trey Lyles, and the season prior is kind of where he did his thing. So when I'm talking about expanding his game, honestly, maybe it's just a matter of last season to me. When you talk about, crafty around the rim, I just didn't see a lot. I just didn't see a lot of that. Maybe it's
not necessarily crafty, but he's a big body. Still.
Sure.
He can still push his weight around.
And maybe it was due to injury. You know what I mean? I would like to see, if it is in his game, I would like to see more of it. 916-339-1140. Let's get to Ashley. Wants to be a part of the conversation, talk some Kings. What's up, Ashley? What you got for us? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. As far as DeMar DeRozan goes and how his opening day kind of went, what are you expecting in terms of what we can expect from him this season? Do you think that he's going to be one of those guys who, obviously he's going to be taking a lot of shots, but do you think he's going to overtake De'Aaron as far as how much he shoots, and how efficient are you thinking that he's going to be this year?
Yeah, thanks for the call, Ashley. I don't think DeMar is going to eclipse De'Aaron Fox as far as the volume of shooting. I definitely don't think that, for a couple reasons. And, we can just get the elephant out of the room right now. Well, number one, it's not an elephant. I think De'Aaron is still the best player on this team, so he should be taking the most shots and the best offensive player on this team. De'Aaron's also due for that Supermax. So I do think that De'Aaron is, and he talked about it with the drive guys. He's definitely motivated, and you got to do that by keeping your usage at a certain level. So I think that DeMar is just going to be a high level number two, Chris. Sometimes he'll close out the games for the Kings, maybe even more often than not. But I don't see DeMar eclipsing De'Aaron. Or I'll put it to you like this: that shouldn't happen. I don't think that should happen, and I don't know that that's the best recipe for success. We know DeMar's still playing at a high level, but he is on the other side of 30. This is De'Aaron's team. This is not a conversation. It's more of a question with we've had the conversation about the Devin Bookers versus the KDs and who that number one is and things like that. But I don't even know if this one is not as close to me as that. I think it's De'Aaron Fox, and I see DeMar DeRozan just being that extra wrinkle to this flow offense that the Kings just haven't had the past couple seasons. And really, Chris, I could even liken it to the Warriors when they had Kevin Durant and just, okay, our offense is working. Oh, our offense at the end of the game stopped working. Steph couldn't get a bucket. Clay was never a guy that was going to get you off the dribble. Oh, let's get Kevin Durant. And in that same way, obviously not exactly the same, but okay, the flow offense is not flowing the same way towards the end of the game. De'Aaron or DeMar, maybe both of them, but DeMar, go get us a bucket. So that's how I see DeMar, but I don't think there's any world where DeMar is shooting more than De'Aaron.
I actually do. I think that there definitely is a world. I think De'Aaron took, let's see here. De'Aaron took just under 21 shots a game last year. DeMar was at 17. I could see De'Aaron taking a few less and DeMar just kind of continuing to be in the role that he's been in the past. I think that De'Aaron also is somebody who potentially could make impact in other ways. Like he can be more of a defensive pest and maybe, again, take a little bit off on the defensive end. DeMar's bread and butter is offense. And I think that this team is going to look at him offensively to be a really tough shot maker. I think that he's clearly one of the best offensive options on this team. I think that there's a real possibility. And I mean, DeMar has been in MVP conversations before in late in the season. I can really see a possibility where where not even that De'Aaron becomes a worse player by any stretch of the imagination, but just again, maybe his efficiency numbers go up. But I think DeMar maybe offensively might be the focus of this team just because he does so much. And I think they have in the past, I don't think last year specifically, but in the past, they've tried to get De'Aaron a little bit more off ball. And I could see maybe this year being a year where it makes more sense than ever because you have Malik Monk who can handle the ball. You have DeMar DeRozan who can handle the ball offensively. And of course you have Sabonis as well. It wouldn't surprise me. I wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't think it's going to happen, but I could definitely see a possibility of DeMar and De'Aaron more so being both at around 18 to 19 shots per game. And any given night, it's either going to be De'Aaron or DeMar's night. I really feel like I don't want to go too far out there, but I do think DeMar is going to be really, really heavily talked about in MVP conversations. I don't think he's ever going to be in top 5 or anything like that, but I could definitely see him, being in the top 10 or maybe in the honorable mentions throughout the season.
And you don't mind that. You don't mind De'Aaron. A lot of people would look at it as taking a step back.
No, because I don't think it would have to be a step back. I mean, but just like you said with KD and Steph, it's not taking a step back. It's just sharing the ball. It's acknowledging that you have other great players out there with you, and it just makes the game easier. Yeah, the numbers might take a step back, but for people watching day in, day out, they'll recognize that De'Aaron's not taking a step back. It's just he doesn't have to do as much. And how many times last year did it feel like De'Aaron Fox saying, I have to take 12 to 15 threes in this game because Malik's not here, Kevin's not here. It feels like we are losing people by the day. Yeah. I have to step up, and I just don't think that's going to be the case on most nights. De'Aaron's definitely going to get his fix, even in that preseason game, like we said, or like I said. It felt like De'Aaron didn't really do much. De'Aaron led the team in shot attempts. So, it could sound dumb 2-3 months from now, but I just think that DeMar's bag is offensively, and it's not going to surprise me if they really lean into that more so being his comfort zone. And again, De'Aaron can maybe up his defensive ball pressure. He led the NBA in steals per game last year. Maybe he continues to really hunt and aggressively try and be a defensive disruptor with Keon Ellis in the backcourt. That could be one of the most disruptive defensive backcourts in the NBA. And maybe DeMar being able to take a little bit of the load off offensively can allow De'Aaron to be a little bit more of that defensive menace.
Coming up next, we take a quick break from the Kings. We'll get back on into it. Major League Baseball playoffs. You have a Bob Costas problem.
Oh, boy.
We have some sound from Bob Costas. And Garrett Cole, yeah, he had a good night last night. We got that sound. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SacktownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
Advanced Infusion Center, where we prioritize your comfort and well-being. Whether you're managing a chronic condition or seeking specialized IV therapy, our state-of-the-art center offers tailored solutions to meet your needs. Advanced Infusion Center's dedicated healthcare professionals are here to ensure your safety and provide personalized care. Conveniently located in Sacramento and Yuba City with flexible scheduling options. Experience a new standard in infusion therapy. Visit Advanced Infusion Center today at advancedinfusion.com.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Despite having no experience, Gavin Newsom made Jessica Morse his, quote, wildfire specialist. The result?
Under Newsom and Moore's, insurance rates and utility bills skyrocketed. Millions of dollars were slashed from the state's fire prevention budget, and they were even caught lying about their record, while millions of acres burned and families lost their homes. Now Gavin has chosen Jessica Morse again, this time to run for Congress. We have a better choice. Kevin Kiley. As our congressman, Kevin Kiley has worked across party lines to secure millions for wildfire protection and expand water supplies. And Kevin Kiley's bill to protect Lake Tahoe will bring up to $415 million home to our district to reduce the threat of fires and restore the ecosystem of the lake, delivering results and making a difference. Let's keep Kevin Kiley working for us.
I'm Kevin Kiley. I approve this message. Paid for by Kevin Kiley for Congress.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
There's no better time than now to get yourself into a brand new Jeep because it's Jeep Adventure Days at Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, offering the best deals in town and a selection other dealers are jealous of. Stop on by. They're just off of Business 80 across from Hagen Oaks Golf Complex. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Beerling, a swing and a miss, ball game. And this incredible division series has one more game remaining. A deciding Game 5 winner take all Saturday in Northeast Ohio as Cleveland comes off the mat to beat Detroit 5-4.
Oh, yeah. Dodgers, Padres, winner take all. Yankees are waiting for Guardians, Tigers. Frankie, Cardicelli, Jason Ross are excited. That was ridiculous. What was that, on Wednesday?
Yeah, that was
insane.
That was out of
I mean,
control.
you had Frankie, Jake Gayden. I mean, you thought
it was bad.
We're in Sacramento.
It was bad.
They're huddled around the computers, the laptops. I had mine open too.
Yeah.
They're cheering. It was insanity. Fist pumps. The Yankees. And this is what we were talking about. Who, a championship for which league, depending on their flagship team or their blue chip team, who would it matter the most? We're in Sacramento.
Could not be further away.
Sacramento. Okay? And you got guys just
losing it.
Over the Yankees.
Frankie is legitimately concerned for Aaron Judge.
Frankie's having heart palpitations.
Like, Aaron, quiet the haters. Quiet. Now is your time, Aaron. Like, you got, and I'm like,
they're calling you Big Justice. They're calling you Big Justice.
He's like, the memes. No, you guys don't understand. The Aaron Judge memes will not stop. And I'm like, Frank,
he's like, I can't defend him anymore.
You're so far away. It's okay.
I can't defend him anymore. Well, the Yankees, they got it done. Last night, they await the winner of the Tigers, and the Tigers taking on the Guardians. And look, that's been a great game, and they play tomorrow. That will be that Game 5. But the big Game 5 for me, Chris, going back to L.A., Dodgers taking on the Padres.
Man.
And a cool note, Chris, from Dodgers, Padres, Yu Darvish and Yoshinobu Yamamoto will be the first matchup of Japanese-born starting pitchers in MLB postseason history. So we're making a little bit of history tonight, and it's going to be great. Obviously, Yu Darvish with a gem the first time around. Got to feel a little bit scared, though, that second time around when you face a team, and we know the Dodgers, they get through their bullpen game, which was huge for them. But we're dealing with the problem, Chris, and the problem has nothing to do with the actual game.
Okay.
The problem is with the one, the only Bob Costas, and people saying that his calls are not doing what is happening justice. And you have just a staunch difference.
You want to talk about old media versus new media.
That's what I'm talking about.
Really, really like
this
is peak old media.
Because you have the Mets Phillies game, we have that sound, Dodgers Padres, and then you have Bob Costas, who's been doing, obviously legend in the game. He's been doing the Yankees games. These are the compilation of his calls. We have the Stanton. This is from a couple games ago. Okay. The Stanton home run, a Stanton stolen base, and a Stanton RBI double. And we're gonna close your eyes, not if you're driving, but just if you didn't know it was the playoffs. What do you think was happening
What's the
here?
Situation?
Yes, let's start it off with take number one. I believe this is the home run. Here it is.
Fly ball, deep left field. Back goes Melendez. Forget about it. It's gone. In large part, this night has belonged to Giancarlo Stanton.
That's in the ALDS.
I will also say that's like a B+ for Costas excitement right there.
Yeah, that's in the ALDS.
About as good as it gets.
Top of the 8th to take the lead. Series tied in Kansas City. Okay, next we have the Stanton double. This was to initially take the lead. Yeah. Here is his call as an RBI double from Stanton. Here,
perceptible. Stanton hits one well in the gap at left center field, and that's going to get down. Soto heading for third and being waved home. The peg to the plate is late. It's an RBI double for Stanton, who pumps his fist as he arrives at second base, and the Yanks jump in front, 1-0.
ALDS. Now that one, 4th inning, that home run was terrible, Chris. It was terrible. Yeah. Now let's take a trip to New York, okay, where you have Francisco Lindor. I get it, it's a grand slam, but this grand slam, Chris, I actually heard the call because I think we were at the game already. This is in the bottom of the 6th. It's a granny, but this is not in the top of the 8th, anything like that. The game's not over. Here is the call from Francisco Lindor's grand slam.
The 2-1. Lindor towards right center field. This one is back. It is gone. Grand slam, and Lindor puts the Mets on top. The biggest swing of the season for New York.
Are we giving Bob Costas too hard of a time?
Not after hearing it. If you just hear Costas by itself, it's like, okay, yeah, like I think I heard an octave go up there, but then you hear what it probably should sound like, and it's like, oh, okay. And then I feel like Costas doing Lindor with the swing. It's high. It's got a chance, and it is gone. Grand slam for Francisco Lindor. Bottom 6, and the Mets have the lead.
I will say we got to keep in mind Lindor was at home.
Sure.
Okay. But that's, yes.
Come on.
Yeah.
Like it's Giancarlo Stanton too, hitting a for the lead home run in a 2-2 game. And what was it? Frankie's having an aneurysm.
It was louder in the media section.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like the 6th inning or 7th inning maybe at that point, and Yankee fans are on their freaking last nerve. And it's terrible. I think it's terrible. I mean, especially as somebody who self-proclaimed casual and is here to try and be entertained and excited by what's going on. I get it. It's a style. I've seen old heads say, hey, you guys don't get it. He's always done it like this. And it used to be a craft. And now, now everybody with your clicks and your highlights and everything like that, you guys have ruined the sanctity of the call now. But it's it just doesn't fit the environment. Like you said, it's
High fly
AL.
ball,
Like, come
deep
on,
left
what are we
field.
talking about?
Back goes Melendez.
What is
Forget
this?
about it. It's gone.
Forget about it. It is gone.
And that was still a pretty decent because they were in Kansas City, but you know how Yankee fans are. There was a little bit of a roar there, but yeah, forget about it. It's gone. So here's Nick Wright. He freshly turned 40. So Nick Wright is saying this is his first get off my lawn take. And he had this to say about the youngins getting on Bob Costas and how we need to leave him alone. Here it is.
This is what's going to be happening. We have a sports cornucopia tonight. We have Thursday Night Football, a great game. We have Yankees-Royals, a great game. Yeah. And we are going to have two legends, arguably two of, if not the two greatest sportscasters ever, calling games. Al Michaels calling the football game, and Bob Costas calling the baseball game. About 5 hours from now, you know what you're going to do if you check Twitter? Hey, what are people saying about the game? A bunch of 20-something-year-olds saying how much these guys stink. Saying, oh, I don't like this guy. I don't like that guy. Why doesn't he call the game this way? It's Costas and Michaels, you spoiled brats. One of them called the Miracle on Ice. The other one called Michael Jordan's final game with the Bulls. Between them, they've called 25 Olympics. They're in their 70s. Yeah. They're spending a Thursday night calling a divisional round game and a Thursday night football game. And all these kids are complaining, being like, here's what I didn't like about it. Shut up. Do you know how lucky I would have been if Howard Cosell would have extended his career that long? I could have watched him. I wouldn't have cared if it's not my style. Enjoy it. You're watching legends at the end of their run. So or just delete your Twitter account. You're going to get on there with your 78 followers and be like, here's why Bob Costas doesn't know what he's Bob Costas.
I don't think that's as good of a point as what he thought it was. I think
it's
he kind
terrible.
of made the opposing point for us.
I'll tell you what,
it's like,
Chris,
yeah, they're 70 and like it's not like they should not be calling games anymore.
Yeah, and look,
that's the point.
Most people do listen to it. Most people do listen to it traditionally, but you hop on YouTube. Hop on YouTube tonight. There's some dude that you probably never heard of that's a Yankee fan, and for the YouTube rights, they can't play the game. Yeah. But they'll describe it and they'll kind of give their commentary, and you'll see 2,000. And I know, relatively speaking, these are random guys, right? You'll see 2,000, 3,000 Mets fans listening to the game how they want to listen to it. One of their guys, and Nick Wright has a note. This guy probably has 78 followers on Twitter, just like Nick Wright said. But people are choosing to do things differently. Yes, and you might need to get with the times. You know what I mean? We're talking about baseball and me specifically trying to help baseball, trying to save baseball. It sounds like CJ Salier is agreeing with Nick Wright. I mean, you can't say, hey, enjoy it. I mean, that's not how this thing works. If that's not how you want to hear something.
It's like watching the Big Three and then saying, this is Al Harrington and Kevin Garnett playing basketball. It's like, yeah, but like they're not playing it nearly at the level in which I like to watch them do it at. Right. And so it's losing the nuance of the conversation. Just say, but they're here and like it's a pleasure to and it is. It's great that we get to hear Al Michaels and Bob Costas or whatever, but it doesn't mean that we have to enjoy it. It doesn't mean that it's quality.
But what does them calling the Miracle game on ice have to do with how they're performing right now?
If anything, it highlights how long ago it was that they were in their prime.
Right. Exactly. What have you done for me lately? I know this isn't juicing me up, but I know, even though I didn't watch it because I wasn't alive, I know they did call that game, so let me show them my respect. I think more respectful. You can either talk trash about it and want it better, or you just don't watch.
They're also acting like McAfee and Stephen A. are on all these calls too. Like it's not as if like we went from Bob, like the sanctity of a nice, calm called game to Bob Costas to a frat house in the broadcast booth or something like that. Like it's still quality broadcasters. It's just like their style or more so we're just talking about Costas too. I don't know how Al Michaels got brought into these strays, but it's
they get on him for football. We got to get to it. We got to get to the other side. Coming up next, speaking of horrible, the Niners special teams. Let's fix those issues. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find De'Aaron Fox is Sacktown Sports.
Spins away from the defender. In the paint. Soft floater. That's a great play by De'Aaron Fox.
Hey, Sacramento. It's De'Aaron Fox, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large, because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
Whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food. No matter what you're craving, from 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings, Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week, all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Meta Chevy Silverado Blowout is on with $12,750 off MSRP. Every new 2024 Silverado half-ton LT in stock after rebates. Or choose $12,000 off MSRP on every new 2024 Silverado half-ton RST in stock after rebates. Exclusively at Meta Chevy at MetaChevy.com. Sacramento's Silverado headquarters. Whatever Silverado you choose, you'll save thousands at Meta Chevy. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers. Most radio 2010 model year or newer. Ends 10/31/24.
Get ready to hit the gas on the best power tool deals of the year at Fasteners Tool Outlet. We're revving up the savings with our full throttle one-day DeWalt sale in Sacramento on October 12th only. We are slashing prices on a huge selection of DeWalt power tools like cordless drills, saws, combo kits, and more at costs you won't believe. Get better tools for better prices only at Fasteners Inc., Sacramento's top destination for DeWalt tools. Again, that's October 12th only on Power and Road. For more info, go to fastenersinc.net.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Uh-oh. We made somebody mad. Did I hear your dumb bleep say they shouldn't be calling games at 70? You are a bleep, Hat. Who are you to say what they should or shouldn't be doing? They've been doing that bleep for longer than you've been alive, and all of a sudden they're supposed to stop because it's not your style. You're an idiot, and I love this. Can't wait till 2.
Call the ambulance.
Can't wait till 2. Hey, I love when people, and I think it is the same number, this 279. I love when people say, can't wait till you're off. Well, you're listening in the meantime. So thank you for listening. It's called an opinion, 279.
70-year-olds can still do things. Nobody's saying they can't.
Nobody said not to do it.
Maybe
we said there's certain people that like hearing it that way. Certain people that don't. Let me ask you this, 279. Did you hear what
Sensi?
Did you hear what did you hear the call in your heart of hearts? You heard that call.
Tell me what was good about it.
Yeah. Don't think about when you were a youth.
Yes.
And the Miracle on Ice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Explain to me, like I'm the idiot that I am, why Bob Costas, those calls are actually I'm missing something.
Those calls, not historically.
No, please.
You are Major League Baseball trying to hang on between the NFL and the NBA, and Bob Costas is doing that. Also, and your argument.
Deep left field.
Yeah, thank you.
Back goes Melendez. Forget about it. It's gone.
This is a home run in May. Yeah. That's a home run.
This night has belonged.
It's a season-changing home run.
No. Yes, that is.
Yes.
But it is called like a random home run in May.
In a blowout, honestly.
In a blowout.
It sounds like it's maybe like somebody's like 30th home run of the year. Like there's slight significance
That's
behind
right.
it, but it's not like, we're not going to make a big thing out of it.
This is the third time this week that a home run has been hit off a position player.
I
look.
Why can we talk about athletes maybe fading out, aging
That's
out of
true.
their prime, but I can't talk about an announcer that's
true.
aging out of their prime.
It's a great point.
The same exact thing.
You know what it is? It's because there's feelings attached.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just
Nick Wright, who is 40.
I get it. Like you're probably pushing 70, which is fine. That's great. Thank you. But it's like, it doesn't, like, I'm not attacking you. I'm not saying you're useless. I'm not saying, hey, go, why are you even around here? I'm just saying, yeah, you've lived a life. You had a great career. Maybe it's time to let others have those moments too, because that wasn't a great moment. And that could have been a great moment for a great young broadcaster to have a call for the Yankees winning the ALDS. Like that could have been a moment for somebody. That's more what I'm saying.
Yeah,
sorry if
it has to end.
Get offended by it.
It has to end at some point
here.
For everyone. Yeah. Right? I mean, people talk about I won't dribble a basketball
there's the John
again.
Sterling's of the world where it's like, I love John Sterling's calls. The Yankees win. Like that's great. I'm not asking for him to get pulled or anything.
916 is coming at the 279. We're not even going to get on the 279.
Just,
I appreciate it, 916. I appreciate it, 916. But the bottom line is we're trying to help, right? And look, we're very aware. We are very aware that when it comes to radio, Chris and I were some of the younger guys. Really, we've talked about we're probably the youngest sports show in California.
Period.
Obviously, Northern California. Normally, there will be an elder statesman and a younger state. There you go to kind of even it out. We're two younger guys. Chris makes me feel old, especially when Kyle subs in. That's right.
Thank you.
So I'm right there on the cusp of look.
You're almost Nick Wright's age.
I'm almost Nick. I'm closer to Nick Wright than Kyle. Okay, so I feel like I'm in the middle on this one, but I like the goosebumps. Okay, did you get goosebumps from that Casas call? Okay, just be honest with yourself. Did you get goosebumps from that? Then go back and listen to the Lindor call.
Listen to that Tatis home
Listen
run
to that
the other
Tatis
day.
call.
My God.
This one is back.
Come on.
It is gone. Grand slam, and the door puts the Mets on top.
And I'm curious. So, are you also saying that call is bad?
Right.
Like,
I don't think they're saying
not
that.
your style of call?
I don't think they're saying
is
that.
Is it an either
I think
or
it's just
thing?
memories. When you talk about these
the
guys,
member berries, man, they taste great.
When you talk about these guys, it feels like you're attacking my memories.
Yes.
No,
yes,
we're not.
No, we're not.
We are simply talking about what we're hearing now. Yeah. And again, me and you, we didn't even initially say this. This is not even an exclusive Stiles and Watkins take. This is why Nick Wright on a national show is talking about this. That's how many people are talking about this. Yeah. Okay? So you might think that everything is leaning one way, it's leaning the other. That's all it is. We're giving you the information and giving you our opinions on it. You can disagree with it. I do not think that we did it in a disrespectful way. Different strokes for different folks. But give me electricity. Give me something that is.
I thought that was an old people joke.
Well, Thomas Edison.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. And I will move on after this. You talk about baseball specifically, okay? And we're talking about the texter that came in. Baseball, we talked to Whitey about this plenty of times. Baseball, when they're America's pastime, it was all through radio. Mm-hmm. Okay? So if you really want to take it back to where baseball used to be, if this was on radio and nobody could see, you would have no clue it was a playoff game.
No.
Okay? You're in your Cadillac and you have no clue that it's a playoff game. So honestly, it should have set you because at that point, you have no clue what's going on. You want to be able to close your eyes and understand what's actually happening. I'm pretty sure to the last one, When you heard Tatis or you heard the other call with Lindor, you knew that was a big call. That's what it used to be. So what are we actually talking about here?
I just want some excitement. That's all. I
That's
just
it.
I just want to feel like you're into the game the same way I am. And
That's
I know,
it.
like, and it's not just, it's also not just like an old thing either. I think somebody just Farmer Bleezy pointed out in the chat, like, a lot of people don't like Joe Buck.
Yeah.
And like haven't liked Joe Buck.
Well, but Joe Buck was a huge Giants
different
hater.
reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I just think we're just more so commenting on the style of broadcast than anything specifically with age. But yeah, I mean, the age also plays part into it, but it's not the whole story. It's more just the excitement level.
So CJ Salyer is saying, I agree. At first they're saying we got to talk to Whitey about this, which we'll do that next week. Thank you, CJ.
He'll be in today. Remember,
maybe we just have him in for a special edition. We'll figure it out.
Usually
We'll
don't
talk
crosstalk
about
on Friday.
Right.
Yeah.
CJ says, I mean, I agree with the take, with Nick Wright's take, because I am a 50-plus adult and feel like I will miss that type of play calling when it's gone. Now, this is where I have a question. CJ says, that's like saying Kuiper and Kruko should just fade away. The reason I don't agree with that, CJ, is because you can't sit there and tell me we can play the Giants calls from the playoffs.
It's high. It is deep. Like, come on.
They're real calls. It is out of here.
Pelota.
Can you imagine?
What are we talking about?
So I don't. What is the
now? Y'all are just grouping older people
right,
together,
and that's not what we're doing.
That's
not what we're doing. What is quote unquote that type of play call?
Yes.
And now CJ says I get it. Thank you, CJ.
Yeah, I think CJ understands what the conversation that we're having. Definitely.
Yes, the conversation is just, hey, wake up.
Yes.
Drink a Monster or something. I don't know.
We're all part of the same miracle.
There you go.
Thank you, Vin.
What are those new ones that you and Nate are always splitting?
Celsius?
Yeah, the Celsius.
Yeah.
Yes, the Celsius.
The Celsius.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. Yes, Celsius is probably with the
Give Bob Costas a Celsius. You know, back in my day, back in my day, we drink a Nos.
Oh yeah, the Nos's.
Nos.
Yeah, there's no way that was legal.
I would drink a Nos before a baseball game. My hands were shaking.
Yeah, I was like, there's probably like plutonium in there or something.
I actually had one probably about 2 months ago.
No way that's
I forgot why.
Healthy at all.
I think Baby Styles was.
Yeah, you probably turned green after that. Like, I don't know. Probably not great to name your drink after like the Fast and Furious like extra gas tank.
916, chill, Al. Al, do you know me?
No.
916, chill, Al. Hope they have a medic in the hall. Well, I did drink about 2 cups of coffee and I had a sugar donut, so. Today's not the day.
I also thought that was like maybe a 6 for you.
For me.
Yeah, I didn't feel like Alan was at near a 10 there.
We're gonna turn
not
out
even like an 8. No, yeah, that was light. That was light, man.
No, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Don't get me started because we still got NFL rivalries. We still got around the NFL.
Right.
I haven't even got to talk about Spencer Rattler
that's
yet.
Right. You haven't even gone to the 10 yet.
Don't even let me get started. But we'll get back on track here as we talk about the special teams for the Niners, who they do have to get back on track. What is going on with the special teams? We have that call that almost flipped the game on its head last night when we returned. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The quest for ring number 6 happens here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Ball, George went up and caught the ball. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Listen on Sacktown Sports for all the 49ers action.
Jennings went up and took it away. What a catch by JJ! He scored 3 touchdowns today.
Quest for 6 lives here on your local sports leader, Sacktown Sports 1140.
Get ready to hit the gas on the best power tool deals of the year at Fasteners Tool Outlet. We're revving up the savings with our full throttle one-day DeWalt sale in Sacramento on October 12th only. We are slashing prices on a huge selection of DeWalt power tools like cordless drills, saws, combo kits, and more at costs you won't believe. Get better tools for better prices only at Fasteners Inc., Sacramento's top destination for DeWalt tools. Again, that's October 12th only on Power Inn Road. For more info, go to fastenersinc.net.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sacktown Sports.
Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports. Taking up to 2 p.m. I liked that. I liked that conversation.
I did too.
I thought it went well.
A lot of passion.
I thought it went well. Thought it went really well. Great job, everyone.
Yeah.
Great job.
Yeah, good job, Zach Chat, too.
As we get into this special teams situation with the Niners, well, I went on to say, hey, the Niners, this whole thing, it's over, right, as it pertains to the Seahawks and Niners game. And just as I said that, this happened. I literally sent the tweet, and this happened right after.
Guy likes to have fun and dominate at the same time.
You know who meanwhile, breaking tackles, and he breaks free. Chenault, and exactly what the Seahawks needed, and Chenault for the touchdown. 97 yards.
Did you hear that excitement
There's
from Al
Michaels? Leave Al Michaels out of it.
That's what I'm saying. He just caught a random stray and all that.
There you go. So it seems like there's some type of special teams disaster every week.
Oh, man.
With the Niners. And there's an article, Chris, from Niners Nation that includes what Kyle Shanahan had to say about it. Brian Schneider, by the way, second season as special teams coordinator, and he came from the Seahawks. But this issue, this issue spans much further along than just Brian Schneider. Essentially, Kyle Shanahan's whole tenure, there's been an issue. So this is from the Niners Nation, and it also includes what Kyle Shanahan had to say on Tuesday about the special teams issues. Shanahan has always emphasized a safe approach to special team strategy. The Niners have generally tried to prioritize stability in their kick return game over potentially more dynamic options. During his press availability on Tuesday, Shanahan was asked to clarify some of those previous comments. He goes on to say, I don't know if I always had the right words for that, Shanahan admitted, but what I'm trying to say is you'd like to build a team to where you don't feel you have to return a kick, a punt, or have a fake kick or fake punt, or you don't have to rely on something like that to get a win. I feel that you feel like you can do it between the offense and defense of just beating someone. I think in this league, one of the best ways to win games is to not lose a game, to not find a way to lose it. A lot of games are given away when it comes to special teams. With the amount of touchbacks there are and stuff, just extra points, getting a punt off, those are opportunities to lose it if any of those are blocked. There are only so many special teams plays that go into a game, and so you don't want to be overly risky on trying to win it there when you're only going to have 10 to 15 plays. You take out all of the touchbacks and stuff, it's even less than that. So you don't want to go out of your way to be risky to try to get your stuff there. You'd rather do it with people who are out there for 70 straight plays. So that was more about the return side of things. Mm-hmm. And Chris, I looked, right, because the issue isn't the return side of things. The issue is defending and that side of things. So we don't know if they've lost their new kicker, Matthew Wright, but that could be two kickers that they've lost because of the last line of defense, because this whole thing is a mess. And like I said, it's been an issue. I don't have to bring up, Simone's got the nice Niners gold jacket on. I don't got to bring up the muff punts and things like that have ruined Niners seasons in the past. but this has been a problem, and you got to look at, because like I said, this is more than Brian Schneider. Yeah. I don't know if it's a personnel. Are you putting the right personnel out there? I don't know what it is, but every week there's at least one. It happened with the Rams when they lost that game. Yeah. It just continues to happen. And these are the little things, Chris. These are the little things that turn into big things that, again, you win a game, everybody's feeling good, and then you look, and Kyle Shanahan says, oh, we didn't change the way we played. Well, you kind of did because of that blown issue right there. And if Geno was even half the quarterback that he'd been, throughout the beginning of the season before the Giants game, you might be looking at another L. So you can't gloss over that stuff, even if you get a W. I have no clue why the special teams just cannot get it together.
I kind of feel like Kyle Shanahan wants to take that quote back in a lot of different ways. I know he's talking about the special teams there, but that's one of the most kind of crazy things, especially considering Kyle Shanahan's history, that I've ever heard come from his mouth. I think in this league is the quote, one of the best ways to win is to not lose a game, to find a way to lose it. That's how Kyle Shanahan has been criticized for coaching second halves, leading all the way back to that Falcons comeback, or I should say Patriots comeback in that Super Bowl, is people feel like Kyle Shanahan plays these games, he gets up big, and then he essentially plays not to lose or and not actually to just go out and straight up win the game.
Right.
And that's crazy to me. And it's crazy that it comes out with him talking about special teams. But I think that is fundamentally the problem with Kyle Shanahan, is he gets these big leads and then he just throws them away because he's trying to do too conservative instead of doing what got them there in the first place. I know the segment's supposed to be about special teams, and I have thoughts on the special teams, but that quote kind of floored me because that is exactly what every Kyle Shanahan hater loves to hear.
Yes.
It's just absolutely insane. The special teams is an absolute mess. They have to fix it. They can't act like, I've heard this week more than ever with people talking about Robert Saleh. Oh, the defense is great. The defense is great. Well, he's not a defensive coordinator. He's the head coach. It's the same thing with special teams. Like, yes, there's offense and defense, but there's also a third team, and that's special teams. You have to pay just as much attention to special teams as you do to the offense and defense. Now, not necessarily 100% all the same attention, but it still needs to have the proper respect and care. And the fact that he essentially says, yeah, we're just trying to essentially get out of those situations without it being anything. Like, I don't know. I think it's an all-time bad quote from Shanahan.
Yeah, and another thing that was weird to me was I have no clue what in the world was going on with Jacob Cowing and his cleats. He kept slipping on every. I saw somebody say, "Can we get Jacob Cowing some new cleats?"
That was so
Nobody
weird,
else was slipping. He did it. It was almost as if, and you know what? It almost felt like Chrissy was trying to smother it, like he didn't want to make again.
Right. It was so
didn't want to make a mistake, and just you playing scared money don't make no money.
It does not.
Right? And a lot of
has.
times when you play with scared money, you end up losing. Yeah. Don't let me get started on roulette. I'm not supposed to go there. I'm not supposed to go there. But when you're slipping it, you're doing the slip and slide. You look like Usher when I know you're
on the skates.
Yeah, on the skates. Come on, man. This ain't ATL.
No.
What is going on with Jacob Cowing? They're trying different people at different positions.
Yeah.
That's when they're receiving, and when they're defending, that's a complete disaster. It's already bit them.
Yeah.
Okay, because that Rams game, they probably win that game if the Rams don't just march down the field on that kick return. So, these are the things that you can look back on this tenure with Kyle Shanahan and all the good that he's done, and you find a Brock Purdy and you find a George Kittle, you find all these guys, and when you look at, if they never put it together, you have to do a deeper dive, and you start thinking, well, their special teams was always kind of trash, and that's kind of a big deal, specifically in the postseason. And we've already seen it burn them before. Muff punts, things like that. They got to get it in order because, like I said, Chris, I actually think they'll go 2-0. I think that the Chiefs have just been waiting for somebody to beat them.
Adam Schefter also just put out that Christian McCaffrey will not play in that Chiefs game. They're already announcing him out.
Okay.
Yes.
I
not expected to play next week versus the Chiefs. He also says Jordan Mason suffered AC sprain joint, now considered day-to-day. So there you go.
So
I'd imagine he probably
they got the. I mean, maybe if they
have the extended break,
right? They have the extended break. So there you go. But just you got to figure these things out, and you're running out of time.
Definitely.
You're just running out of time. I think they're going to go 2-0 there, but we're talking about down the line. Maybe they get lucky, Chris, and the Chiefs. They don't have to, if they get back to the Super Bowl, they don't have to face the Chiefs, because I do think that the clock is ticking I say it every week, but they're losing more players every week. So I'm going to continue to say it. Coming up next, we go around the NFL, then we get into some of these NFL rivalries. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
At Progressive, we know money can't buy you happiness, but money did help you buy an RV, which means an excuse from working Saturday with your insufferable coworker, Dave. So money is helping you listen to birds chirp instead of Dave chirping about how his toddler is fluent in 3 languages. And it's also why you'll be smelling pine trees in the air, not Dave's tuna melt reheating in a microwave. So save money by bundling your RV or boat insurance with home or auto from Progressive and buy more happiness, or something close to it. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
At the UPS Store, we know being a small business owner means holiday time is still go time. Still get those orders shipped time. And still re-up on stamps and supplies time. That's why this upcoming holiday, while others close up shop, we'll be open and happy to help you keep being unstoppable. Come into your local store today. Most locations are independently owned. Product services, pricing, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable.
Buying a home is one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. Before you tour a home, the real estate professional you're working with may ask you to sign a buyer's agreement, which describes the services you'll receive, each party's role and responsibilities, and how your agent will be compensated, all of which you'll want to discuss with them up front. So work with an agent who's a realtor. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors with a duty to honestly represent you and put your interests above their own, because that's who we are.
Have you heard you can listen to your favorite news podcast ad-free? Good news! With Amazon Music, you have access to the largest catalog of ad-free top podcasts included with your Prime membership. Enjoy shows like The Daily, Up First, and Consider This, available ad-free on Amazon Music. To start listening, download the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/ad-free. That's amazon.com/ad-free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
The Sacramento State Hornets are back at home this Saturday. Come check out the high-flying Hornets as they host the Eastern Washington Eagles. It's the Big Sky home opener, Saturday, 6 o'clock at Hornet Stadium, where we're celebrating cancer awareness and healthcare appreciation. Come watch some great football and stay for the post-game fireworks. Tickets are on sale now at hornetsports.com for Sacramento State and Eastern Washington. Stingers up.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is the only store in the world to be named a top 100 shop for 40 years straight. Yes, the only golf shop in the world. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is your unsurpassed spot to find the hottest golf gear, best pricing, and elite expertise. Try any club on the shelf on the driving range for free and let our staff show you everything you need to look and play better. You love golf. The Hagen Oaks team loves golf too. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue, Business 80. Learn more at hagenoaks.com or 916-481-GOLF.
When an overwhelmed injury victim calls Ashton or Price, we immediately remove their legal burden and introduce them to the very best medical care in the region. They focus on their health and we handle all the rest. When they reach the end of their medical journey and are reunited with happiness and hope, we unleash our decades of legal experience to obtain maximum compensation. We are real, local, experienced litigators and snappy dressers too. Consultation's free, and there's never a fee until we win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Hey, Aggie fans. Head coach Tim Plow here. October 12th is a date you're not going to want to miss. It's homecoming here in Davis, and we face off with rival Cal Poly at 4 p.m. for the Golden Horseshoe. It's also Junior Aggiette Day. So, kids, if you want to perform on the field with our cheer and dance teams, visit ucdavisaggies.com/tickets and sign up today. Let's pack the stands for this rivalry game and celebrate what it means to be a part of this Davis community. Go Ags.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Getting through the third hour here. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports, leading you up to the drive, guys. The return of Whitey Gleason.
Nice.
Return of Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper, and they got you. It should be, Chris, are they actually going to have to do 4 hours today? I think so.
I believe so, unless there's no. Yeah. Oh, Kings game at 7. I think they maybe have a half-hour shorter show. Maybe it's still 5:30.
Wow.
I think it's 5:30. I think you have game night from 5:30 to 6:30, and then 6:30 to 7 is Kings pregame. So
Right.
yeah, they got a half-hour shorter show today.
I want to do something I don't know if we've ever done before. 916-339-1140. And Chris Simone will circle back, okay, because maybe you need to think of something. Want to connect with the listeners. 916-339-1140. Obviously, if you're in the SAC chat, you know what it is on YouTube. What is something you are looking forward to this weekend? We want to know. Okay, we were talking with our child care lovely lady. She was telling us about this Mexican spot that we have to go to. We might go there, but we're torn, Chris. There's also a sandwich spot, not the sandwich spot, but a sandwich spot we've been trying to go to for the last couple weeks. So I'm excited to eat. Okay, I'm excited to try some. I've been getting down on all the Sacramento foods out here. So I'm excited to do that. But 916-339-1140, what are you excited to do this weekend? / food spots that people are sleeping on. We'll read them out. We'll go around the room. We'll give it a little time to breathe here. But right now, we're going around the NFL. This is a little bonus segment here because normally we just use this sound for our picks. So you're going to get this sound a couple times today. But this first one, Chris, it kind of pains me to say, because this guy is a fellow Temple alum, Hassan Reddick. Sources, it's from Ian Rappaport yesterday. Sources, CAA, one of the biggest sports agencies out there, is parting ways with Jets pass rusher Hassan Reddick, who is the NFL's last holdout. Reddick has not shown up at the facility, has collected millions in fines, and his situation currently has no end in sight. The first comment, Chris, with a bunch of retweets, this dude is ruining his career. The next comment, when your agent fires you, you know you're screwed. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing, but if you get dropped by your agency, that tells me that they've told you, hey,
go to work.
Yeah, this is no longer helping. Because a lot of times the agents, I'm assuming they'll say, they're trying to guide. Let's keep it a buck. They're trying to guide you in the way that's going to make you money and them money because they get a cut. Yeah. So if they're saying, hey man, we're not really seeing a path for you to resolve this so much that they don't think he's even going to get because to get rid of him, Chris, they're saying we don't even care about the percentage of your payday. I don't know if I've seen anything like this before, at least of recent memory, but this is a bad sign for Hassan Reddick. T for Temple.
Very bad. Very, very bad. And I'm reading here, Hassan Reddick has already lost $12.2 million this year. $8 million in fines, $4.2 million in base salary. He's only scheduled to make $14.2 million.
What are you doing?
He's almost going to get lose more money than he actually was in line to get this season. It's an absolute mess. And yeah, I mean, I read the same, or I came to the same conclusion that you did, that if your agency is dropping you, that probably means that they've been advising you to end the holdout, and it's just Hassan Reddick that feels like this is productive.
Yeah,
he probably is throwing away his career, and CAA is, to say that they're one of the biggest is just like it. They are the agency of sports. There are so many athletes. Probably 85% of athletes are represented by CAA, at least the biggest ones.
Yeah.
This is going to have a lot more of a bad of a bad rollout for Hassan Reddick than what I think he even is aware of. This could really kind of not. And I don't know if it could end his career.
Le'Veon Bell type
putting
deal.
him in a really, really bad situation moving forward.
Le'Veon Bell type situation to you?
I think it's worse. I mean, I think it's worse. At least Le'Veon kind of landed on his feet and ended up in a situation. It wasn't necessarily a great situation in New York, but at least he kind of got what he wanted out of it. I don't think Hassan Reddick is going to get what he wants out of this.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because at first we were kind of blaming. I mean, I think both sides are just losing. He's literally losing money.
Yeah.
And the Jets,
They
traded
just fired
for
their
him.
coach.
Yeah,
he might have Robert Saleh might still have a job if Hassan Reddick would have played for the Jets this year.
Very true. And the defense was still good even without him, but. You go on to sign someone when you know he wants a deal, and then you don't give him a deal. That's why initially I was on the side of the player and Hassan Reddick. But at this point, I guess the Jets are thinking you can lose the money if you want, but the Jets aren't getting that production. So both teams are losing in different ways. Just a very Jets thing to happen. Next, I'm excited for this one. Chase Daniel of the facility, but he also has a podcast with Diana Rossini, and they are on Scoop City, and Chase Daniel had this to say about my guy. He's in black and gold. He should be in black and silver. He is not giving the keys back to Derek Carr, pun intended. This is Chase Daniel on what the Saints are saying about Spencer Rattler.
So they don't even go with their backup. They go with their third string rookie, Spencer Rattler. And I had some conversations with people in New Orleans this morning to just kind of get a vibe of, all right, what's this kid like? And it sounded a lot like it did this summer when we were talking on the show about.
Yeah, you told me about him this summer.
They love this kid's poise. They want him to play free. They are giving this kid the keys because they believe in his confidence. And I think it's important to mention, it's great that they're optimistic and they're building this guy up. I know that talk. I hear that talk all the time from people in organizations. Right? This is different. They really like this kid. And
wow. What stands out down there?
His ability to process.
Okay.
He's another one in this class.
That's huge for
his understanding of what they're doing. So we'll see how he fares when the spotlight is on him. So
it was more about Diana Rossini, not Chase Daniel, really giving her thoughts and what she's hearing coming out of New Orleans. Chris, and you're taking on Baker Mayfield. I mean, I can't wait, Chris. This is between that game and obviously you got the Commanders taking on the Ravens as well. I can't wait to watch. I have no clue who I'm going to pick. I got to use my head or my heart, but I'm very excited to watch my guy, Spencer Rattler, take the reins in New Orleans.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, he obviously an incredibly hyped prospect coming out of high school, but didn't really have a great college career. I mean, it'll be interesting. I mean, not many people end up having better pro careers than college careers, but we'll see if we'll see. Yeah, Brock is definitely one of them. Not many, but I mean, I feel like Spencer Rattler has the moxie to do it. Mm-hmm. We'll see if the arm talent's there. We'll see if the athleticism is there, and then I think the long-term question from more so his high school days is the maturity there? Is the leadership there? I think that there's a lot of people who believe. Just in his attitude, the way he carries himself, that he's got the personality, the moxie to be the quarterback, but you also have to have your players like you, believe in you, and want to win for you. I think that's the part of Spencer Rattler that we still have to see.
Last but not least, Malik Neighbors, not really in trouble, but he's being judged because he is in concussion protocol. But that doesn't mean he can't get down to some Astro World Travis Scott. So Malik Neighbors, I don't know if he got caught on social media, but basically he went to a concert. And I don't know, Chris, if it's because specifically, not to get into it, but those concerts and there's a lot. Crazy. Those concerts can get a little
Travis
bit
Scott
nuts.
Shows are different.
Yes, there was the tragedy not too long ago. So Malik Neighbors at the Travis Scott concert, and Brian Daboll is asked about whether or not he's in trouble for doing that. What's the protocol? And Brian Daboll, he kept it pretty close to the vest. Here it is.
Yeah, I'll keep that all in house.
There you go. Not a violation, but he's keeping it all in house. I mean, I don't really know, Chris. Can you go? Are you allowed to go to the movies? Can you go to the IMAX, a normal movie theater, but not IMAX? I don't really see if anything wrong with it. I'm not really sure what the concussion protocol entails.
Well, he's got a concussion, so you don't want to be in loud, like incredibly loud environments. That's like the worst thing possible for your concussion.
Maybe he was in a suite.
That's not where the picture was. The picture was definitely on the floor.
Maybe he was on his way.
Maybe
to the suite.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, probably not the best look.
It'd be like, I think your analogy for the movies, a D-box seat where it's shaking you around.
The movie theater might not be great for you. I mean,
Probably not.
It's dark, and then there's the bright screen, and then it can get pretty loud in there.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem, is that if you have a concussion, that's not going to help there's not many things you can do to help a concussion, but definitely going to a loud concert, especially if you're on the floor, that's probably going to hurt it more than anything.
And Travis Scott is another animal.
And
we're talking
these guys are trying to be rocks. Their whole thing is that they're rock stars. They're not even rappers at this point.
And again, I don't know if he's on the floor or not, but Travis Scott shows more than any create mosh pits, and that's definitely not an environment.
I mean,
literally your first round pick.
When hey, open up the mosh pit. I mean, literally that's
crazy.
That's what. Yeah, you guys are right. I'm tripping. Yeah, he can't be there.
No, be in a box. That's the thing. Is like,
you
get in the box. Don't be pictured on the floor, and maybe it's a little bit better. You can maybe just he's far away. He's sitting for the concert, but I mean, you don't want him feeling like he's out there in the mosh pit.
Gonna get to the other side. 916 saying they didn't hear Daboll on YouTube. Well, it was pretty quiet, but if you didn't get to hear it on YouTube, basically he said they're keeping it in house, and he was asked, did he violate any policies, Malik Neighbors, and Brian Daboll literally just said no.
Yeah, that was a part of the sound. It was very quiet.
It was very quiet. Nope. All good. We'll see. Coming up next, we teased it earlier. Let's talk about NFL rivalries. Seahawks Niners. I said it's not even top 5 anymore. Is it even top 10? Stiles and Watkins, Stockton Sports.
Kevin Herter plays here.
It's Herter. He's been hot. He fires. He's still hot. Kevin Herter from downtown has a 15-point first quarter.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
It's football season, and Uber Eats is dropping undefeated deals on all your game day favorites like Little Caesars. This week, buy one Ultimate Supreme and get an extra most bestest pepperoni pizza free from Little Caesars, only on Uber Eats. Craving even more? We've got you covered with game day deals on burgers, tacos, wings, and more all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms, taxes, and fees apply. See app for details.
Not to brag, but Progressive's Name Your Price tool is mankind's greatest tool ever. Even better than the wheel. Sure, without the wheel, we wouldn't have modern transportation or funny videos of dogs riding skateboards. But without the Name Your Price tool, we wouldn't have easy access to auto insurance options based on our budget. And, well, cars do need wheels. They also need insurance, and insurance never goes flat. Learn more about the greatest tool ever, the Name Your Price tool at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Carmichael Dave here from my good friends at American Energy. Cool weather, if not cold weather, is in our future. You know that. It'll eventually get there, and American Energy wants to make sure your system is operating safely and properly. So now is the time to take advantage of the $49 fall tune-up inspection. That's regularly $119, but includes a full safety and duct inspection. And if your system's over 10 years old, it's free. The tune-up is on American Energy. Give them a call right now. They're offering $50 off your first recommended repair, or if you need a new furnace, that's half off the price of a new unit. American Energy been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You can check them out at the AEWay.com for an instant quote. That's the AEWay.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9998 now.
DC here, and if you've been thinking about a new car, you gotta see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia. You can always count on low payments and zero down deals with approved credit. Folsom Lake Kia, over 25 years. right here in Folsom.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Ask the question. What are you excited to do this weekend? Just trying to get to know our listeners. Getting to know you. 916 Esteban going to a corn maze in Dixon. Don't get lost, Esteban.
That's the largest one in the world.
See, man, but it's not scary. It's just a straight up corn maze.
I mean, it's tall.
Because
You're
I went
scared
to
get lost.
Well, I went to the
the
hay
haunted
mazes
ones, right?
Yeah, I used to go at Six Flags and Great America. I used to be
Six
at
Flags is actually kind of scary.
I used to be at all of them.
Yeah.
And they pop out and they scare you, but legally they can't touch you.
Right.
But then you have the videos of them getting
will.
knocked out.
Yeah. I'm surprised that doesn't happen more often, to be honest with you. Them
Yeah.
getting knocked out, because I feel like a lot of people's just like, you can't help it. Like, if you're going to jump at me, like,
Right.
natural reaction might just be to
Reaction.
swing. Like,
But have you gone to any? Or do you do that?
No.
Do you like scary movies?
Does anyone really like them?
I mean, I
don't watch them.
Odd.
I don't like. I'm not super excited to get scared, but more
Yeah.
times than not, I don't end up being scared. I really do think that scary movies more times than not are legitimately funny.
I like to watch scary movies in the daytime.
Yeah, I mean, that's for sure.
I'll get down,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna watch in the day. That's just how
There's some
how
that
it
get
is.
you worse than the first Paranormal Activity definitely got
Sure.
me. Insidious, the first Insidious,
Conjuring
got me.
goes
Conjuring
crazy.
got me for sure. I saw
The
that in
original
theater. That was not
Strangers went crazy
great.
too.
I still haven't seen that one.
That's
yet.
my favorite
Yeah.
scary movie.
I can't do like the ones that are like a little, like that one's almost a little bit too real.
That's
Like
why I
I don't
like it.
need to be like renting an Airbnb in Tahoe and then constantly thinking,
Yeah.
man, remember that movie I saw where those people
That's what I'm
rented out a
saying.
place in Tahoe and
Yeah.
then 5 people come into the house and
For no
just,
reason.
like torture them for 6 hours.
The
Yeah.
worst part of that movie, why are you doing this to us? Because you were home.
Yeah, that's terrifying. I haven't seen the movie, but just that right there, I'm out. I'm
Have you guys
so
seen
out.
Barbarian?
No.
No.
That came out semi-recently, right?
Yeah, and the whole premise is it's an Airbnb situation. She gets there and there's another guy that's already there.
Right.
And they're like, "Oh, let's
What
just
a
crash
coincidence,
together." I was
yeah.
like, "Absolutely
No,
not.
no way.
I would prefer to sleep in my car before I split an Airbnb house with a stranger."
Yeah, I'm calling the host
I recommend
immediately,
that
and I'm like,
one.
"What's going on? I get a
That
free
one's
weekend."
pretty
somewhere.
spooky. Sinister scared me too.
Sinister.
Yep.
I screamed so loud. I just watched that one recently. I screamed. I hit the deck. I was so scared at one point in that movie.
So you want to hear something? You want to hear something funny? Come here, guys. Now let's say something
Al's
funny.
got a joke,
Very
guys. Corny, very cringe.
Midsummer. I've watched
man,
Midsummer,
I heard that was
and
terrible. I didn't watch that.
every
Wait,
year.
maybe I did.
So it's from the same director as
Oh, no, I
Hereditary.
didn't. I did not see that.
Hereditary.
I believe, is the one that I saw.
I've watched the trailer for
Oh my gosh,
Hereditary.
Hereditary was terrible. It
I
was
watched
so bad.
Hereditary. Well, bad or scary?
Is again another scary movie where I laughed my ass off.
Hereditary?
Spoiler alert: there's a scene where a girl's sticking her head out the window, and then something
Aw.
happens. It was top.
She's having an
tier-
allergic reaction.
Top tier hilarity to me.
I thought it was
top
supposed to
tier
be.
hilarity. It's supposed to be
I've
scary,
been afraid
but
of
that
it.
moment specifically, I could not stop laughing.
Yeah, the internet had a good time.
I
with
could
it too.
not.
Really?
stop
Okay, maybe I shouldn't be scared of it. I saw Sixth Sense at a sleepover in 4th grade.
Oh,
and
that
it-
feels like a mistake.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
told my mom I couldn't go to a
Pick me up.
sleepover for
Yeah,
another couple years here.
No way.
What about Signs? Did we all get freaked out by that iconic Signs? Yeah.
Just the scene, right?
I turned off the movie.
The
My
initial
whole family's
scene where you
watching
see
it.
the alien is the only
Yeah.
scene that like gets you, and it's only because they play like a little music as it walks by, and it's like, whoa, what was that?
I
But
turned
besides
it
that,
off. I
Signs is
said, we're
crazy
not
bad.
watching this anymore, you guys. This is too much.
You didn't
Yeah.
miss anything. Just swing away.
We have a couple people chiming in on what they're doing this weekend. Joe Giroux, wife and kid
Hey.
are going camping, so I got the house to myself. Gonna watch movies on full
Joe's
volume.
the best.
Haven't figured out food yet. What should I get? So
Ooh.
the places I was talking about, I had, Lalo's restaurant,
Oh, Lalo's.
Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
apparently
right by my place.
our childcare. She was
Yeah.
saying great.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
mean, outstanding. That she was talking about the barbacoa. I said,
Yeah, that's
say
what I
less.
had. Yep.
So let me get this straight. This is from, and this person really wants us to shout out.
Okay.
Schmetty on the Sack Chat says, is just continue to talk about Roxy's Deli for a sandwich on
Roxy's
C
is
Street.
fire. Yeah.
The best
Right
one
next
you
to
will
Orphan.
ever have. The pork, the tri-tip, you name it. I need a shout out for that because you will fall in love. Well, Schmetty, I've already been.
I was going to say you went to Roxy's.
I've been to Roxy's, and the one that I keep seeing on social media right now is Cordy Bros.
Oh, yeah.
So I
Cordy
need
Brothers,
to see
yeah.
what's up with Cordy Brothers. I think that's on the list. I got to see how it stacks up against. I know Roxy's does the barbecue, but thank you, Schmetty. 916 from a mid-rock. Slayer last night. Slipknot tonight. Iron Maiden, Motley Crue. That's from.
That sounds like Aftershock.
Aftershock. I'm mid-rock. I got to tell you, I saw. I'm driving home, or I'm driving to the show and driving home. I see everybody having a good time for Aftershock. I drove by and saw everybody out there. So,
Dude, it gets
have a
crazy.
good time out there. Be
Yeah.
safe. Have a good time out there. A lot of people have some things to get on into, and we'll break down what we have to get into. I wanted to get to these rivalries too, NFL rivalries. Chris, this is my list of rivalries. We're trying to see where the Niners and Seahawks fall, and I got Vikings, Packers. Okay, where do the Niners and Seahawks fall right now? Current NFL rivalries. Vikings, Packers. I got Niners, Cowboys. Chiefs, Raiders. Niners, Chiefs. Chiefs, Bills. Chiefs, Ravens. Ravens, Bengals. Cowboys, Eagles. Niners, Eagles. Niners, Rams. Lions, Packers. Broncos, Raiders. Off the top of my head, the five that I could find five in that group right now that I think have more juice than Niners Seahawks. I think
definitely
Vikings Packers has more juice.
Yeah.
I funny enough, even though the Niners own them just like the Seahawks, I still think Niners Cowboys has more juice.
I agree. I think Niners Rams has more juice.
Niners Rams, obviously Cowboys Eagles, more juice.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I don't know.
I think Chiefs Bills.
Chiefs
to me.
Bills. That's five right there.
Yeah.
And we didn't even say Lions Packers. We didn't even say Niners Eagles. To me, still has some of that.
Yeah, I think Niners care more about beating well, I don't know. I guess the Eagles feel like they just fell out of it, but I mean, I think it still would have some vitriol to it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't mention any of like the, Browns, Bengals don't like each other. Ravens, Steelers don't like each other. I mean, there's so many more, and it just feels like, again, it feels like the Seahawks have kind of lost their part in the rivalry of it all. I mean, I think the Niners definitely, we listed two, the Cowboys and the Rams are still scratching and clawing with the Niners. It just hasn't felt like the Seahawks have given the Niners really any problems at all. And I think that's the reason why. I mean, even I kind of scoff at Chiefs Raiders, but even then, the Raiders have taken some.
They won
away
last
from
season.
The Chiefs. Exactly.
They didn't score an offensive touchdown, but
get
they
it how you
won.
can, and I think there's tons of rivalries like that where it just feels like there's more recent actual head-to-head splitting of matches than what you have with the Niners Seahawks. It's still, it's got the name value, but besides that, it really, the actual juice and the sting that's there, not really many similar characters from the rivalries that we actually saw back in the day. Back in the day, 5 to 6
William
years ago.
Lamas on the Sack Chat, Eagles Niners ? What with an exclamation point? Yeah, I think Eagles Niners. So that game maybe okay. The only argument I
like
say
a
is
legacy rivalry.
No,
but I would say that matchup.
Warriors Grizzlies.
Yeah.
It could be
Yes,
Warriors Grizzlies.
Right.
Maybe
That's
before,
that's a perfect comparison.
Maybe you feel like the book has been closed because of last season when the Niners dog walked the Eagles, but going into that game, Debo, it was if Brock didn't get hurt, we were going to go to the Super Bowl.
It was a mess.
That had more juice to me than Niners Seahawks.
I agree. I mean, now again, Niner fans might feel still a lot more hate towards the Seahawks.
Because yes, for sure.
I mean, we hear Nate every week say, "I'm not picking the Seahawks. I don't
Just
care
because.
who they're taking." Just because, and he's not like that with any other team. But no, I mean, in terms of like the actual matchup when these two teams square off, the Niners Seahawks, from an outside perspective at least, doesn't really have any, if any, juice.
Yeah, and what's been weird is
it's going off of like the Russell Wilson era. Like that
Richard
is
Sherman,
the most recent
Crabtree.
you can point to an actual on the field rivalry with those two teams.
What's been weird is because the Seahawks haven't been bad. They just
Well,
wet
average
the bed
and
against the Niners every time. Simone, who do you hate more, Seahawks or Rams?
Oh, well, I'm going out of division. I hate the Chiefs the most. And I was just going to ask you guys, do you think if you asked Nate Dogg if he hates the Chiefs more or the Seahawks, he would say Seahawks?
He'd say Seahawks.
Really?
I think he's.
I hate the Chiefs more than anyone right now.
Yeah, but but again, rivalry has to be two-sided. Y'all keep losing, so the Chiefs ain't thinking about the Chiefs. Don't hate
thinking
you
about the Bills.
The Chiefs don't. Seahawks fans hate you. Yeah. You hate Seahawks. That's that's the rivalry.
Okay.
You know, that's like when Temple out here when we play Penn State or Villanova. Yeah. We hate them, but I don't think they're. Oh, we hate playing Temple. Maybe Villanova.
Right.
I hate them.
Yeah.
I hate Villanova. All right. Coming up on the other side, we have our top stories at the top of the hour. The number one pick, Max Celebrini, scores his first goal for the Sharks. He's looking like the real deal. And if you like beast mode on the field, how about, I was going to say in the White House, but he's on his way. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large, because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
Whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food. No matter what you're craving, from 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings, Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week, all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code RACE for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RACE for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RACE.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
Hey, October's already heating up on the Sacktown Sports live events calendar. Enjoy family fun at Dave's Pumpkin Patch in West Sacramento all month long. Pick your perfect pumpkin, navigate the corn maze, jump on a massive jumping pillow, and create unforgettable memories for the kids. On October 20th, don't miss Renee Vaca at the Crest Theater for a night of laughs and entertainment. And mark your calendar for Sinners and Saints, the region's best Halloween party on October 26th at the venue at Thunder Valley, complete with a $5,000 costume contest. It's the most spooktacular event of the season. Looking ahead into November, join us for Legends of Motown at the venue at Thunder Valley November 23rd, bringing you the classic hits that defined a generation. And you're not going to want to miss the Jersey Boys Midtown Men Holiday Show December 8th, also at the venue at Thunder Valley. It's going to be a night filled with festive cheer and old school classics.
And stay tuned to Sacktown Sports for all your live event updates and your chance to win tickets.
The quest for ring number 6 happens here on Sacktown Sports 1140. Listen on Sacktown Sports for all the 49ers action.
Jennings went up and took it away. What a catch by JJ. He scored 3 touchdowns today.
Quest for 6 lives here on your local sports leader, Sacktown Sports 1140.
KHD KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
And the 916 Raiders Chargers gets chippy year in, year out. I don't want to be disrespectful. I'm a Raider fan. The teams have to be kind of good, Chris. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a rivalry, but
Yeah.
it is. But I don't know. It's the Chargers. The Raiders are doing their part. Chargers aren't doing their part. You know, there's nobody even in your stadium.
Yeah.
So I if you're asking I guess the difference is just when I'm talking rivalries, I'm talking about I have no rooting interest, but I need to watch, and I don't think anybody feels like they need to watch Raiders Chargers.
No.
But you're not wrong, 916. I'm sure if you ask Raider fans, I know they hate each other, but it's the watchability of the product right now as well. At least that's what I'm counting as well. All right. It's time. One more hour left in the show. And then you got the Drive Guys, the return of Whitey Gleason. It's time for the top stories at the top of the hour. Let's start here, Chris. Number 1 pick, Macklin Celebrini scores first goal of the season for the San Jose Sharks. This guy is supposed to be a stud muffin. He's supposed to save the San Jose Sharks. Crazy family. Dad obviously works with the Warriors on that training staff. I think they said on the broadcast his brother is also in the NHL. His sister, I think it might be a soccer player, volleyball player, something like that. So, yeah, they're really out here in these streets being athletic. Here is Macklin Celebrini's first NHL goal.
Low slot, shoveled along for William Eklund. Here is Celebrini, pulling up, spinning, shoveling across. They score!
Blues defenseman in front. And watch this little spin here. He has his head up the whole way. He knows Toffoli's there. He knows Eklund's there. And there's no question about it. It goes off Matthew Kessel's leg.
There you go.
No question about it.
I was going to say right there. Reminds me of Degrassi when I used to watch Degrassi.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day. Well, look, man, this kid is supposed to bring the Sharks back to the promised land. You know, the Sharks had a great run in those 2010s and then completely fell off a cliff. So it'll be nice to see the Sharks get back to where we want them to be. And it is interesting, Chris, as you know, I saw Draymond in the building. Obviously, they're closer to the Bay. But if you live in Sacramento, I mean, that's the closest. If you care, right? That is the closest NHL team you have, or you can pick somebody random, I guess. But I'm sure there's a good amount of San Jose Shark fans.
Yeah, we used to
out here.
broadcast it, I believe, on these airwaves way back. And yeah, we haven't in a while, but yeah, we used to broadcast tons of Sharks games, and you know, I think it wasn't the cleanest goal from Celebrini. If you look at it, it's he kind of does a turnaround, and it's definitely like an attempt to center, and it goes off somebody's skate. But you know, you take it how you can get it. He also got an assist yesterday too, so you know, multi-point game in his first career game. It's a reason to watch. Like, it's what we talked about with the Raiders. It's like, yeah, I don't know how the Sharks are going to be. I assume they're not going to be great. They haven't been great these past couple of years, but at least there's a reason to go to the games and get excited to watch. And I think if you're going to be bad, you might as well be interesting. And at least now the Sharks, with not just Celebrini, but they have Will Smith as well, like you have some reasons to actually be excited to go watch the Sharks or watch them on TV.
Talk about exciting. Just saw this guy at Cal last weekend. Marshawn Lynch hinted at a possible run for Oakland mayor if the scandal-plagued Sheng Tao is recalled next month. This is from Christopher Catalago. Marshawn Lynch, the NFL great and California Golden Bear, hinted at a possible run for Oakland mayor if scandal-plagued Sheng Tao is recalled next month. Gavin Newsom, who has reviewed private polling, says Lynch's popularity is off the charts. I mean, talk about shoot for the moon, Chris. I mean, we're not talking city council. We're just going straight for the mayor. I mean, look, I know we have the Arnold Schwarzenegger. We've had people. We've had a lot of different people. Okay, not just in California. In general, I guess I don't really know enough about what Marshawn knows. They have that random podcast, right?
Very random.
With Marshawn and Gavin Newsom. Yeah. So maybe I got to listen to the pod before I really speak on this. But I do know this. I do know he is very well liked. And people have said, you know, the people like the Rocks of the world and guys like that, Dwayne Johnson, guys like that, or people like that are popular can run. So who knows? Who knows? I mean, stranger things have happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's we don't like to get super political, but this is definitely an interesting career path for Marshawn. Definitely wouldn't have picked this as the direction for him to go. We obviously know he cares a lot about the city of Oakland, and at the game the other day at Berkeley, he was really talking about how much Berkeley means to him and things like that. It'd be unfortunate if it really is just a popularity contest. We know that that's really what politics can be sometimes, but if Marshawn really wants to give it a go, I guess why not? Why not? As long as his heart's in the right place and it's not just an ego thing or something like that. If he actually feels like he has more so, I mean, connections, because I don't think it's necessarily Marshawn that's going to have all of the right ideas to send Oakland in the right path. But if he knows enough people, he's obviously been a staple in the Bay Area for a while. Maybe that's the reason why he feels like he's so inclined to run for it. But until I hear Marshawn say it directly, I'm not going to believe this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, a guy who he's seen the other side of Oakland and wants to get it back, on the right track. I think, there are people that are in tough situations and, on that bad side of Oakland that could say, hey, I mean, this guy, he's trying to help us. He's trying to get us back on the right path. So like I said, I mean, we'll learn more as this thing kind of progresses. I mean, Marshawn, the world is really his oyster right now. He's doing a lot of different things. So we'll see how that goes. WNBA announced yesterday that they will expand to a 44-game schedule and move the finals to a best of 7. WNBA's Commissioner Kathy Engelbert announced the league is changing the first round to a 1-1-1 home-away format in 2025. The league will also move to a best-of-7 final series starting next year. I mean, we're seeing it right now in baseball, Chris. The 5-game series, and we just talked about it with the NBA. Maybe they've shortened some of their series, but for the finals, you got to go 7. You got to go 7. And it's about time that they're going 7.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like they're doing it more for money reasons than actual competition reasons, but whatever the reason is, it's fine. 7 games, you get the best winner, and I think the expanded schedule also has more to do about money than it is, giving people more games for the fans' sake of it. It's what the WNBA needs to do, and I do also want to mention that yesterday was probably top 3 best WNBA games I've ever watched in my life.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to ask you guys to check it out. I'm so glad you did, Chris.
Well, absolutely incredible.
Well,
never seen that happen before.
We talked about that matchup in New York versus Minnesota, and not to say that New York now won't win, but this is what happens in these 5-game series. Minnesota comes in, you steal a game, everything gets flipped on its face. But yeah, crazy game there. You still think that New York will figure it out, though, Chris?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously, like you said, it definitely made it a little bit tougher, but I think if anything, that's going to light a fire under New York, and they will not be that complacent. Still can't forget that New York was up 18 or pretty much up 20 at a point in that game with it about to be closed out. So it was, you can call it a miracle comeback. You can call it, whatever, the Lynx executing down the stretch, whatever you want to call it. They're 5 minutes away from pretty much blowing them out. I still think the Liberty are the better team. They should be able to handle business. But that Minnesota crowd, Minnesota loves them, some of the Lynx. They have a really storied history as well. Maya Moore, obviously. It might be tougher than I initially thought, but I still feel like the Liberty got it.
Well, a lot of people will laugh at this, and we're not trying to laugh at the kid. Through 3 preseason games, Bronny James has the worst plus-minus of all 494 players to log exhibition minutes thus far. That is from the Sporting News. Yeah, I it's not good, Chris. It's not good at all. I don't want to, we sit there and talk about how other guys need time. It's only in the preseason. I still don't think it's necessarily a bad look for the league, but there are some people out there that were saying, hey, if his name wasn't Bronny, and he can still pick it up, but if his name wasn't Bronny, he wouldn't have even got a shout. I think me and you kind of went back and forth on that. And my take doesn't look so good right now, but hopefully he turns it around.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it definitely doesn't help. It feels like even through preseason, Bronny has looked a little lost, a little out of place. He's not playing many minutes in the minutes he is. I won't say he's chucking up shots, but every shot he takes is definitely not going in. He needs to figure it out. It's got to be more than just defense with him. He's got to be able to score and figure out how to create shots, especially if he's going to be a guard. That's the thing, is it's not like this kid's LeBron Senior's size or anything like that. He is a guard. He's got to figure out how to create space and how to shoot. Because we don't think in general that if you're just a straight defensive minded guard, it's going to be really tough to get you some minutes. I know they're comparing him to, or his pre-draft comps where, people were saying Derek White and Davion Mitchell and things like that. I think Bronny's not even close there offensively.
I mean, even if it was, if Davion Mitchell is your ceiling, I don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're talking about. Last but not least, this one scares me. And if you've seen iRobot, it will probably scare you too. You can now own a Tesla Optimus humanoid robot for as low as 20 to 30 grand. It can move objects, help with household chores, and assist in healthcare. Here is the unveiling of it from Tesla Live.
I think this will be the biggest product ever of any kind. Yeah. Because I think everyone of the 8 billion people of Earth, I think everyone's going to want their Optimus buddy. And there's going to be maybe 2. And then they'll be producing products and services. I predict, actually, provided we address risks of digital superintelligence, 80% probability of good outcome. Look on the bright side. The cup is 80% full. The cost of products and services will decline dramatically, and basically anyone will be able to have any products and services they want. It will be an age of abundance, the likes of which people have almost no one has envisioned. It'll be something special.
Nah, it's a no. For me, I've seen iRobot is one of my favorite movies, and I don't know if I'm going to call it underrated, but loved Will Smith in that. I've seen it 8,000 times, and that's why I don't want to see this movie, Chris. I'm not doing it. I'm just thinking my grandmother, who passed away, probably 5, 6, 7 years ago. My grandmother lived with us, and I'm thinking, you know what? It probably would help, because that's what it was in iRobot, right? Will Smith's mom had one in it, and things went left. Chris, I'm so out on this. I don't think words can describe. And they literally look like them boys from iRobot. I feel like it's on purpose, like we're getting trolled. That's a no for me, dog. No way.
Yeah, I really didn't like Elon making the joke about, except for, we have some things. Yeah, we have some things that we need to hammer out. One specifically being making sure that they don't have superhuman intelligence and can talk to each other.
That's not cool.
Wouldn't that be crazy? Yeah, not super funny. I do think it's pretty dope. I will say I watched a lot of the videos of them just like walking around with it, and they have full-blown conversations. I assume it's like a chat GPT kind of thing, but really quick response time, and like it feels like you're actually talking to a person, which is super strange. Like it's not a, hey, how are you doing? It doesn't sound like Siri. It actually sounds like they have voices. It's very, very creepy. There's a video of 2 Chainz having like a full-blown conversation with one of these.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I will say they're pretty dope, but I think they're going to literally, you're going to have to take out loans for them. They're like financing these robots, like legitimately like you finance a car is the same way Elon's talking about it. I don't think it's going to be something that takes off immediately, but I definitely see this in our future in about, maybe by the time you and I are getting towards Bob Costas age, I think we might have some
nice callback, Chris.
20 to 30 grand. That's actually not a bad deal. Are there souped up versions, right? You get deluxe pack. What happened to, when we were kids, where are the flying cars? Why don't the Jetsons, why don't we start there? I guess they had a robot.
I think that's physics too.
Can we start there with the flying car? We just
driverless cars.
Well, they have
just
Rosie.
Skipped over that.
They got Rosie in the Jetsons.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Then I took it back.
Yeah.
Can we skip? We skipped over. My parents. When you're grown up, you probably be in flying cars. No, there will be robots though.
This is all fun until one of these robots like kills a baby or something. It's just gonna step on a 2-year-old's head,
shove a bottle down its throat or something.
Having real conversation. But I will say, I remember, being younger and the iPhone came out. And at first I'm thinking, I like real buttons. I don't think I'll ever end up with an iPhone. And I got an iPhone now. An iPhone can't possibly kill me. So it's a little bit different, but I guess it could kill you in a different way. All right, coming up next, we get into our NFL picks. It is a tough week. But as the reigning champ that I am, I'm ready to take it down. We got our picks coming up, Stiles and Watkins. And Nate sent us his picks remotely, so we'll read those off as well. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL?
Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
There are so many things I love about fall weather. The crisp air, the changing leaves. It's all so magical. Until my kids catch a chill outside. That's where Kohl's comes in, with cozy layers, warm jeans, and more. I found all the styles my kids need when the seasons change. Plus, I got 20% off with a coupon and earned Kohl's Cash. So here's my style forecast. Prep better for fall weather at Kohl's. Select styles. Offers end October 20th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
At the UPS Store, we know being a small business owner means holiday time is still go time. Still get those orders shipped time. And still re-up on stamps and supplies time. That's why this upcoming holiday, while others close up shop, we'll be open. And happy to help you keep being unstoppable. Come into your local store today. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, pricing, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
From the 916, going to have to chain that thing down at night so it doesn't kill you in your sleep.
No doubt.
Talking about the new, what is it, Optimus Prime? What's it called?
Humanoid
Optimus Humanoid. Just call it Optimus Prime. Make it easier on everyone. 20 to 30 grand, man. The Tesla Optimus Humanoid.
more than meets the eye.
And then he's going to get in your car. Well, yeah, then he's going to drive you where you need to be.
Well, that's the car. You don't need that.
Well, you don't need
the robot.
You got somebody,
They had a whole rollout yesterday for Tesla. They had the Tesla the van. They had a Tesla, like, not really a monorail, but kind of like a public transit thing. And they had a Tesla cab as well. So I've always said, even before Elon kind of blew up to the level he's at now, like, he's always given me major Lex Luthor vibes, and he has only doubled down on that.
Are we good with this? And like everything with Starlink?
No.
And we just want to hand that man the keys?
No.
No.
I think it's too
he's
late.
creating the keys. I think that's the problem.
Molding.
Look, I'm good with the robot, but the robot got to be in like a robot jail. So the kitchen's in the
And then he
jail.
gets sick of you. Like, I don't like this jail. I don't like
but
the
that's what's
concept.
he's got.
I'm
Are
gonna
you
free
trying to
myself.
restrict me?
Yeah.
He's opening the bars.
Yeah.
Here's Robo. Here's humanoid. Yeah, crazy. All right, let's get to. And by the way, Simone, Stiles and Watkins, always the best freaking music from the 916. Thank you, 916. Chris, I'm looking at this, and I'm probably going to jinx myself.
Okay.
Before the break, I said it's a tough week. On paper, it actually isn't that tough. I thought last week was much tougher.
Yeah, much tougher.
Now that I'm looking at this, so that means that there's probably going to be a bunch of upsets. But here we go. Let's get into our picks for week 6. Simone, let's get that music going. It's been rocking and rolling all day long from our Around the NFL segment. Let's get it rolling. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. This just makes me want to run somewhere. Run to Dave's house and say, "We working out right now?" And then he doesn't open the door. All right, Chris. Jacksonville at Chicago. Oh wait, let me pull up Nate's.
That's a London game too.
Your favorite?
I love the London games.
I'm in
Why
it.
do you
I'm in
hate
too.
them?
I like them
love
too.
Waking up
feel
and
like
there's football
same.
on.
I'm in.
It's incredible. What's
I
your
agree. You just,
problem?
wake
Tell
up.
me your problem. I'm never here. I'm just
always-
the
Wake up
sub.
at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I wake up naturally early.
Not that early. On a Sunday?
Yeah.
No, on Sundays I'm getting up 9:30 at the
Really?
latest.
That's so cute. I am up like with the sun.
Hold on. Whoa.
That was
whoa,
disrespectful.
Whoa, relax. So cute.
I'm just a sub.
Adorable with your
That's right.
sweeping in.
I know, and your
with
blankie.
your
We have your
baby.
blankie
You have second period soon.
and your warm cup of milk.
Getting ready for midterms. All right, we got to go quick here, Chris.
Okay. I'm going Jacksonville. Jacksonville.
Whoa!
This is pretty much a home game for them. This is their first of 2 weeks. They're going to be in London all week.
Okay.
They have this game and then a game next week in London. I don't know if the Bears have played in London before. I definitely know Caleb Williams has never made that travel. Jacksonville literally does this every single year. I do think there's an advantage to that. It's only a 1-point spread in the Bears' favor. I'm taking Jacksonville.
Okay, Nate is taking Jacksonville as well, and I'm taking Chicago. Let's get it. Let's get it where you. Just get it where you fit it. All right, next, Chris. I think I would take the over here. Arizona at Green Bay. I'm going ahead and taking Green Bay.
This is in Green Bay, yeah.
Yes.
This is in Green Bay. I don't feel great about Kyler Murray outdoors in cold weather. I don't know exactly what the weather is going to be like. I can pull that up real quick. In Green Bay, it's going to be definite rain showers. Let's see here, 54 degrees at kickoff. And then let's see here, what's the chance of rain? We have it just says definite rain showers. So I don't like that for Kyler Murray. I think that James Conner has definitely been a James Conner season so far. Very, very solid. But I think the Packers they're very used to playing in this kind of weather. And I just feel like they have the advantage, and I'm not going to be bamboozled by the Arizona Cardinals again. So I'm going Packers.
I believe the Cardinals, if they lose, then San Francisco will be in first place for sure. If the Cardinals win, then things might get a little bit squirrely. This is a tough one. I know that I said there weren't a ton of tough ones, but Colts at Titans.
I'm liking the Colts in this one. Anthony Richardson does seem like he's going to play. I'm not at all a Will Levis guy. I'm a very big Anthony Richardson guy. I don't think we're sure yet or not whether Will Levis is going to play after hurting his shoulder the other week. Might be Mason Rudolph. And if it is Mason Rudolph, I'm absolutely taking the Colts. Somehow, from what I'm seeing here, Tennessee is a 2.5-point favorite. They must not like Anthony Richardson like I do. I'm going Colts.
Next, this should be...
Who are you going with?
I'm going with the Colts. Next, this should be a quick one. Houston at New England. This is the debut against that ferocious defense from Houston, the debut of Drake May in New England. I'm going Houston.
32% chance of rain for that one, 52 degrees. It's going to be cold weather. I don't like that for the rookie. I think they will get a little bit of a bump. I think Drake May is better than Jacoby Brissett, but I just think the Texans are the much better team. Biggest favorites. No, actually third biggest favorites of the week. I'm taking Houston easy.
There you go. You're taking Houston on the other side. We will get to the rest of the slate. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
The handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
It's 4th and goal. The pressure's on. The home team needs this to win it. No matter what you're up against, it's always a win at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Special finance options and trade-in offers make it easier than ever to upgrade your ride. Because at Stockton Honda, we believe everyone deserves a winning deal.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company. Sold on report.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is your unsurpassed spot to find the hottest golf gear, best pricing, and elite expertise. Every club on the shelves can be tried for free on the driving range. 3 TrackMan units and a Hagen Oaks team of skilled fitting professionals provide the finest club fitting experience. Our personable Super Shop staff will show you the newest to help you look and play your best. You love golf. The Hagen Oaks team loves golf too. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80. Learn more at hagenoaks.com or 916-481-GOLF.
Did you know that your largest investment asset might not be your retirement account or home? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. Most people don't realize that their life insurance policy is actually an asset they can sell. But for almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. We've even created a free policy value calculator at abacuspays.com so you can find out in seconds what we might pay for your policy. There are no fees and no obligations, just information. Knowing the value of your life insurance policy is as important as knowing the value of your home, your equity portfolio, or your finances in total. Discover the valuable information you need to understand the current market value for your life insurance, and then get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Visit abacuspays.com to learn more and use our free policy value calculator today.
The Sacramento State Hornets are back at home this Saturday. Come check out the high-flying Hornets as they host the Eastern Washington Eagles. It's the Big Sky home opener, Saturday, 6 o'clock at Hornet Stadium, where we're celebrating cancer awareness and healthcare appreciation. Come watch some great football and stay for the post-game fireworks. Tickets are on sale now at hornetsports.com for Sacramento State and Eastern Washington. Stingers up.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is your unsurpassed spot to find the hottest golf gear, best pricing, and elite expertise. Every club on the shelves can be tried for free on the driving range. 3 TrackMan units and a Hagen Oaks team of skilled fitting professionals provide the finest club fitting experience. Our personable Super Shop staff will show you the newest to help you look and play your best. You love golf. The Hagen Oaks team loves golf too. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at Business 80. Learn more at hagenoaks.com or 916-481-GOLF.
Do you have old baseball cards and sports memorabilia from the 50s and 60s collecting dust in your closet? They could be very valuable in any condition. Find out at the Sports Cards Roadshow. We'll be in the Sacramento area to evaluate your old and modern sports cards. Visit sportscardsroadshow.com today to schedule your appointment. Ask about your free on-site sports card evaluation. For large vintage and modern collections, we can come to you. Skip the garage sale. Sports Cards Roadshow is buying. Call 1-800-560-3272 today or visit sportscardsroadshow.com.
Don't let summer energy slip away. Live the active life you love year-round with a personally fit arch support system from the Good Feet store. Precision engineered to support all 4 arches. Good Feet puts your feet in a more ideal, comfortable, and pain-free position. And Good Feet arch supports are now HSA and FSA eligible. Book a free fitting at goodfeet.com or come in and get a free pair of OS First Performance socks. Free. Normally a $25 value at the Good Feet store.
Sacktown Sports. Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
Not going to waste any more time. Right back into, I'm just thinking this song, Marshawn is mayor.
Oh, this is definitely.
Everyone instead of the national anthem.
Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the Dizzle dance, and they all got to do
Absolutely.
it. Oh my goodness. All right, let's get right back in to our picks. We have Nate's written down. We're giving those as well. Thank you, Simone. We finished, Chris, at Texans at Patriots. Next on the list, this is an interesting one. I'll have you go first here. Tampa Bay at New Orleans.
I'm going to go with the Saints, actually. I'm going to believe the Spencer Rattler hype. I'm also just I have not gotten there on Tampa Bay. I know Baker's had a really good year and that offense has continued to click, but I just feel like they're very inconsistent. And this, to me, especially in this division, feels like all these teams are going to hover around 500. I think they just kind of cannibalize. I think that they beat each other up. I'm going to go New Orleans in this one.
Wow. Yeah. And Nate is going New Orleans as well. Huh? I'm going to seem like such a softie here because I do really believe in Spencer Rattler, but I'm actually going to go Tampa Bay because I think that it's going to be a good game. I think Spencer Rattler is going to show some flashes, but even Jaden Daniels, who's balling out right now, it took him a little bit to get warm, a week or two. I think that, and same with Bo Nix. So I think that, and Caleb Williams. So I think that he'll show some flashes this weekend, but the Buccaneers, who they're trying to get back on the right track, I think they pull out the W. But Spencer Rattler does lay the groundwork for the rest of the season. And then talk to me next week. I got to see who they play next week. But talk to me next week. I think they will rock and roll after that. Next, Chris, Cleveland at Philly. Feels like I haven't watched the Eagles play in a very long time. Browns at Eagles. Who you got?
Yeah, and this one I like the Eagles. The Browns have just been absolutely terrible. They've been a laughingstock with Deshaun Watson at quarterback. I feel like this has to be a step closer towards us seeing Jameis Winston potentially. I just like the Eagles in this one. I think that they just control it on the ground. I don't think there's going to be anything special about it. Probably a pretty boring, forgettable game if I had to guess. I'm going Eagles.
Yeah, last weekend I think I picked the Browns because it's just one of the. I don't think they're going to win a game eventually, but I don't think it's going to be this week. I think
seems like all the Eagles will be healthy as well. AJ Brown,
both back.
AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, and Lane Johnson all expected to play.
Yeah, the Eagles, if they want to keep pace, this is a game that they have to have. Cleveland, their season is essentially already done, so no reason to mess around. I'm just going to go with the Eagles there. Next, Chris, now this is one I struggled with. Commanders at Ravens. I have to take the Ravens, and I'm going to take the Ravens, but it's either going to look Jaden Daniels is either going to look electric and the hype train is going to go crazy, or it's going to be a rough game for the rookie with that Ravens defense. I don't think it's good. I don't think there's anywhere in between. I think Baltimore takes care of business.
What do you think? Do you know the spread on this game?
No.
What do you think it is?
4.5.
7. Ravens by 7.
I don't like that.
We know the drive guys like to make their picks off of the spread. I would definitely take Commanders spread of 100% just for the safety of it. But as the pick 'em, as the straight up, I'm going to go with the Ravens as well. They're the more veteran team. I know they lose McDonald, but that defense is always lauded to be ones that make it nightmares for rookies. I feel like at home, the Ravens should be able to take care of this one. And the Ravens are in a spot now where they do need wins. You can't really afford to fall to 500. They got 3 straight wins. You want to carry that momentum. I'm taking the Ravens.
Eagles and Ravens, those were the picks for Nate as well. Okay. Next on the list, Chargers at Denver in a who cares bowl.
Yeah, this is the definition of that.
Nate has the Chargers. I'm going to go with the Chargers too. I just think Denver's due for a lot. They've been playing well 3 straight. I just think they're due for a loss, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Chargers play such a boring game. It feels like they're going to play not to lose, not necessarily to win. I bet they just run the ball like crazy. I like the Chargers in this one. I could not believe less in Denver.
Yeah, and they've been good, but
no,
let's they beat the Raiders last week, so there you go. Speaking of the Raiders, Chris, earlier, I think prior to Washington at Baltimore eventually took it over, but earlier in the week, Pittsburgh at Las Vegas from TickPick, the hottest ticket for the week. A lot of Steelers fans. Probably. I think it's supposed to be more Steelers fans than Raider fans. That's just what happens in Vegas. It is what it is. It's a tough one for me, Chris. I'm actually going to go Steelers here. I think that Justin Fields is going to hold on. They almost beat the Cowboys. Of course, that was at home. But, the vibes might be getting better for the Raiders, but they're not really getting that much healthier. Yeah. So I wouldn't be – I feel bad picking against my team. I think the Raiders could win, but, yeah, I'm going to go with the Steelers here.
Yeah, again, if you had to guess, what do you think the spread would be on this one?
I would
Raiders
say
at home, like you said.
3.5.
3.
Steelers.
Yes, nailed it. It's 3. I feel like nobody really knows where this one's going to go. I do feel like the Raiders always strangely beat the Steelers, especially at home. I feel like it hasn't really mattered traditionally if the Steelers are head and shoulders better than the Raiders. For whatever reason, the Raiders seem to be a team that give the Steelers headaches. You know what? Why not? Why not? I'll take the Raiders. No one can say I'm a hater if I take the Raiders. So I'll take the Raiders, and I'll actually root for them this weekend. And who knows? It might be the last start of Justin Fields' Steeler tenure here.
I think I might switch to the Raiders.
You got until the end of the show. Those are the rules.
Simone, don't give me that. I'm switching Raiders.
There you go. Yeah, time.
I'm switching the Raiders. Nate is the only one taking the Steelers. I couldn't come in on Monday with the Raiders winning.
Yeah, if they would have won, I mean, that's...
And then you get one on me,
it's a win-win.
And I can't do it. I can't do it. Speaking of can't do, here's another tough one, Chris. Detroit at Dallas, or maybe it's not tough, depends on who you ask. Nate has the Lions. I got the Lions too, honestly.
I think we all do. I think we all got the Lions. This could be, I will say if the Cowboys win, this will be a really big win for them trying to prove legitimacy. I mean, I think the Lions have been a little interesting this year. Just, I don't want to say fool's gold, but just not nearly as dominant as what I think a lot of people expected them to be coming into the season. Just been a bit surprised at their performance. I think this is a good opportunity and a big stage for them to show out. I'm going to go Detroit. Why not?
I think the issue is with these, and I know that Allegiant is kind of built to be a version of Jerry World. These huge stadiums, it just doesn't even feel like they have a home field advantage, the Cowboys, because, Chris, I am tempted simply because of that Detroit defense. I really want to see what they do, because if you can't stop, I know CeeDee Lamb, but if you can't stop a team with no running game, CeeDee Lamb and Tolbert, that's a problem.
It's a problem.
You know what I mean? That's a big problem. Tolbert had a great game last game against a better defense, to be fair, but I just think Dallas also has to stop, and I got to check on Micah Parsons, but Dallas also has to stop the Lions, and I think that's also going to be
also a 3-point spread as well.
For the Lions?
For the Lions, yeah. I think that's a little surprising.
Yeah, Atlanta at Carolina. I think we don't have to waste our time with this one. I'm going Falcons. Nate went Falcons.
I'm going Falcons. Go Falcons.
Yeah, Falcons are going to hang around, maybe get a wild card, and then we'll see what happens after that. Very similar to Kirk Cousins' time in Minnesota.
Do you want to hear a weird stat? The Falcons have trailed in the last minute of the fourth quarter in all 3 of their wins this season. They're the first team in NFL history to do that within the first 5 games. So if they are going to win, it's not going to be pretty. That spread is 6, so we'll see.
Well, this one, Chris, if they're going to start, talk about desperation.
Yeah.
If they're going to start the climb, shout out Miley Cyrus, it's going to have to be now. Bengals at Giants. If they bungle this, they're done. They're done.
Agreed. 100% agreed. There's no excuses after this. You don't get the benefit of the doubt. You don't get, hey, you played hard opponents the first month of the season. All that goes out the window if you lose to the Giants here. I know the Giants actually played well last week, too. They've been impressing people. Malik Neighbors, I don't think. Do we know if
I believe he's still out.
I think he's still out.
Yeah.
So, that it didn't affect the Giants much last week. Has to at some point here. Cincinnati feels like the more desperate team. This is prime time, too. So I'm going Bengals. I just can't see Daniel Jones surprising us all on national TV Sunday Night Football. I don't see that being Daniel Jones is coming out.
I don't even want to watch.
We'll be wrong. I really don't either. Might not.
I'm going to, but I don't really want to watch. Bengals, and I got to check. I don't even need to check.
I'm sure Nate took the Bengals.
Nate is going Bengals.
It felt like a pretty chalk week. I feel like there wasn't much disagreement between the 3 of us, honestly.
The Bears game, the London
Bears game.
game.
Yep, London game.
Yeah, London game. You guys both took
Colts.
the Saints. I took the Bucks. And then
Chargers, we all took Chargers, right?
Yeah, and
you
then
and I
Nate's
took
the only one that took the Steelers.
Steelers, right.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Yeah. And then Monday night, you got Buffalo and Jets. We're not picking that now, but that might be the ultimate separator this week. You got Kansas City, Rams, Dolphins, and Vikings all on bye this week too. That really doesn't help entertainment value.
No, not particularly.
Are you guys, just because I'm the sub, are you guys tracking this and going like week to week, and then you guys are between
winning
the
weeks,
3 of you?
Not points.
Okay.
Yeah. When I've done pick 'em before, we've done points, and then they'll drop your worst week, but just for the sake of math, and we don't have a TI 84 calculator on us, so we're just going. Whoever gets the most points that week wins the week. All right, coming up next, prop talk, shout outs, and closeouts. Chris and I had a good day last night in prop talk. Maybe we can get you some cheese this weekend. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out sacktownsports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and The Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, The Stingers Up Podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on sacktownsports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost, or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sacktown Sports.
916-339-1140. Text line, Sack Chat still open. We will shout out your plans for this weekend if you're doing anything fun, any food places, kind of a community, what the Sack Chat is turning into. People will shout out food places that they like, and other people will go check it out. Other people, most of the time being me, let them know how you like it. But 916-339-1140, shout outs and closeouts. We got you on the text line, Sack Chat as well. If you want to shout anybody out, your friend, your brother, your sister, your daughter, your son, your aunt, your uncle, your barista, your masseuse, anybody, we got you. We got you for that. We will shout them out on the text line, Sack Chat. And if you got a quick call, we will take that as well. And if you got any cool plans, let us know what's going on this week in Sacramento. All right, as we get into prop talk, Chris. So obviously we did Niners last night and we both hit, but Kyle was a disaster.
Yes, Kyle was an absolute mess. Poor guy. I mean, it made sense. It sounded good. I actually agreed with him, but he had Niners kicker Matt Wright take the under on kicking points, which is the first time we've ever had that specific prop even looked at.
And he was confident.
He was very confident.
Very confident.
Very confident.
I do have some of this clipped up back here because he was complaining the entire game talking about,
let's hear it.
Oh my goodness, I took the kickers. This is the kickers part of him.
Regardless of whether the 49ers win or the Seahawks win, this game is going to be like 20-17. It's going to be really like slogged down, and it's a backup kicker, obviously. So, I mean, he was unsigned a week ago. Right. So, yeah, 7.5. Let's go under on the kicker making 7 points.
Terrible. Oof. The kid also racked up this.
I'm rolling with the Seahawks. I am rolling with the Seattle Seahawks too.
I love that with the little bird.
I love that he produced
smirk.
his own little segment, his own little part. He was like, I got this.
I'm
going with the Seahawks.
I'm holding a couple L's.
Yeah, just a couple of them. Jeez. Well,
that
good thing we
made
have
me-
Simone today.
That made me smile. And he and I are playing each other in our fantasy.
Oh,
so this is all good for me. I got a 49ers win, him losing prop dog, and a good
L's.
position. For
Wow.
fantasy
Look out
this
for
week.
Simone's team in fantasy, man. She is 4-1 this year, sitting atop the standings.
Yeah,
Look out.
I got bigger problems.
Look out.
Man. I got some issues.
You got
Let me see who I got this week. I just lost to our boss last week, Jose. Let me see who I got. Now you guys.
We got the matchup that the world's been waiting for.
What do you got?
We got one Alan Stiles taking on LeBron James.
Draper.
One Kyle
my
Draper.
goodness.
Look out, man. Look out.
He's got Jalen Hurts.
Of course he does.
But
Come
I
on.
have Philly's defense. So oh my goodness.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
No, not
Oh,
this
man.
weekend. Wow. Okay, Drapes. We'll see you on the other side. All right, let's get to this prop talk. Only two
Let's do it.
Kings available. And it's De'Aaron Fox, DeMontis Sabonis, Chris. Yeah, De'Aaron Fox, 15.5 points. I don't know if they're going to play more than the half. I'm kind of tempted to go under here, to be honest.
Yeah, I would think to go the under there. That's a lot of points when there's a lot of mouths to feed, especially in preseason, and he's not going to probably play longer than the first half. Maybe he does. Maybe, they have 4 more preseason games. We know that they're probably not going to play at all in the last one. This is maybe a little bit more of a ramp up. Maybe he plays a little bit in the first, a little in the second, a little in the third, and then just doesn't at all in the fourth or late third. 15 just feels like too much. I agree that if you're going to take that, I would think the under is the way to go.
What are you going to take?
I'm looking on the Warrior side of things, and I would rather root against Draymond scoring. So I'm going to go under 4.5. They did not care that Draymond. How many did he even score the other night?
He
I
had
think
at
like
least
8
6
or 10.
Yeah, he had a good bid.
He had I think a couple. He had a 3 at least. He had a couple layups. I'm just going to assume Draymond got all the scoring out the way. We're gonna take Draymond under 4.5 points tonight.
Wow. Well, I'm looking here. Brandon Pajemski, 9.5.
Oh boy,
That's the
I
over.
wanted to go under on that one.
Under?
Yeah.
He's gonna get some time, man. Especially now that he lost his starting spot to DeAnthony Melton. So there you go. You have
Said
something.
9.5. It is 9.5. Okay. And you're going over. Gotcha. Just wanted that for record keeping sake.
Well, that's just mine.
Yeah, I know.
So if I say it, it's real. It's like Jumanji.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. I am going to look at the football slate as well. We talked about that Cardinals-Packers game. I can't fully quit the Cardinals. Okay, I'm not going to pick. I didn't pick them to win the game.
Okay.
But I am going to take Kyler Murray over 31.5 rush yards. He's cleared that in just about every game this year. He obviously had the 50-yard touchdown run last week against the Niners. I'm looking at it now, 83% chance of rain. That tells me that that's begging for Kyler Murray to tuck it and run on more than one occasion. I think 31.5 is low, incredibly low for Kyler. Maybe they know something I don't. But I feel like that over 31.5 rush yards for Kyler is an easy one on Sunday.
There you go. Yeah, there are a couple teams when they have too many options, I just tend to stay away from them. I just think a guy going up against a Lions defense that just hasn't been that scary. I feel like CeeDee Lamb is going to get he had 98 yards last week, and it didn't even feel like it. I think he gets 86. He's 86.5. I think he gets that. Okay. I'm just sick of, you take Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery goes off. You take Etienne and then take Bigsby. We know unless Tolbert, here's the thing. Tolbert actually had a really good game, and CeeDee still got his. So I feel like CeeDee is going to get his and get 86.5 receiving.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I think that Detroit defense is very, very suspect, and we've talked about it in the past. CeeDee's pretty much their only target they really go to a lot. It's great Tolbert got that touchdown last week, but I think that's probably going to be a shootout too. If I had to guess, those two teams tend to just put it up offensively, and the Cowboys defense has been very suspect this year, to say the least. So I definitely could see that being like a maybe even both teams put up over 30. I think you even said like that might be the game to watch the over for sure.
Yeah, and I think from what I'm seeing, so 20 minutes ago, no Micah Parsons for Dallas.
It is the highest over-under spread as well, 52.5.
Yeah. So there you go for Dallas and our prop talk as well. Some shout outs and closeouts. Ward is on the sack chat. Looks like Ward's daughter has a birthday and is going to get a jersey for her. So
a Kings jersey?
Yes, yes, Kings jersey right there. You also have Ward saying that, as I mentioned, Miley Cyrus to Climb. You have Mike Brown continuing to talk about Climb Together. Should that be their song for this season? It's possible.
No.
It's okay.
No. That's like in that Debo podcast where the girl's like, the hot to go song? Can you guys play that on the bump box? And Debo's like, no, we not having that.
No, we not having that.
I don't think De'Aaron would enjoy. Well, maybe De'Aaron would. I think there's like a funny Snapchat of him singing some like poppy songs.
Yeah.
I could see, I don't think it would fly. I don't think, there you go. Malik is the one who's not going to have that. Malik is definitely not having Miley Cyrus The Climb be the anthem.
Well, he's letting Hamdulillah.
It's either Miley Cyrus The Climb or we get Not Like Us for the 300th time. Which one is it? Okay. Make your choice.
Nothing Like Us. That is my pick. Chris, I know we kind of talked during the break and it doesn't seem like you had a ton going on this weekend, but anything cool? Well, you said. You said.
I definitely did.
No, you said.
You said
Vikings
are on a bye.
I said
Vikings are on a bye.
Vikings on a bye. Yeah. So I'm not going to be watching football.
Okay.
I will not be obligated to watch.
I apologize. I heard that incorrectly.
Yeah.
Anything fun going on
Big
this
time.
weekend?
I'm going to Apple Hill all day tomorrow.
What's
Can't
that?
Wait. Oh man, is Apple Hill really a local thing? I guess it is. It's up in Placerville. Placerville, or towards Placerville. It's just like I don't really know how to explain it except for it is what it sounds like. It's just like an Apple themed, not even amusement park. It's just Simone, can you help me out? Like there's tons of cideries out there, wineries.
Okay.
They have like caramel apple. It's like what you do when you're a kid, and it turns fall. It's like the most Sacramento fall thing you can do. Yeah.
head up there, and it's pretty.
Where is it?
It's like towards Placerville, yeah.
But Placerville is still Sacramento type area?
No.
Not really. It's
Okay.
more. It's towards Tahoe.
Sure.
It's like in between Sacramento and Tahoe.
The
Okay.
hills, if you will.
Yes.
We're in the valley. here
We're in the
Sacramento.
valley.
You got it.
Okay.
It's about, let's see, it's about an hour out, give or take. But yeah, there's tons of wineries out there. There's just good old family time, really.
What's-
Pumpkin patch vibes.
Okay.
Kind of,
What's
but
something
much
you
more blown out.
have to get there? Like, what's your craving?
The apple cider in general. I usually like to come home with at least a jug of apple cider.
Is it boozy or is it just straight up apple cider?
They do have both, but I'm
Okay.
talking about just the regular apple cider.
Gotcha.
It's like the very, very pure form of it. And then, sometimes I'll like to leave with the caramel apple, but I got to be in the mood for it, man. Those things are just a little too big.
Whitey Gleason from the top rope.
Of course.
Text me, not the group chat, just me. It's something your GF/wife makes you go to.
No comment. That's what
I
was
knew
saying.
you were gonna. I knew you were gonna have
no comment.
no comment.
It's gonna be a great time.
It's gonna be a great time.
That's what I'm saying.
There you
It's
go.
gonna be an amazing time all day.
5-3
Like I said.
all day, huh?
Like I said, I'm busy this weekend, Alan.
Okay.
I am busy.
Okay.
I have things.
Okay. Wow.
We have things.
There
We
you go.
have things.
530.
Apple donuts. Yeah, the cronuts are crazy.
530 says Bishop's Pumpkin Farm in Wheatland is the best.
Okay.
Okay, so
Take your word
Pumpkin
for it.
Farm. All right. I've only been to Wheatland when I went to see Bryson Tiller when
There's
I was
some
out
good.
there at Hard Rock.
So did you say that you like the haunted houses and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
I get
like
down.
The themes? Because there's a ton of those around town. Like more so on the outskirts of town, but you can definitely find some like,
Yeah, I don't know. That seems a little bit
patches and
too
things
real
like
deal.
that. Yeah. Okay.
You know that.
Yeah.
That sounds a
Because
little
they
bit
can
too
get.
real.
Yeah. They're themed.
Yeah.
They're very, very well themed, is what I
No,
would say. So if you're looking for that, it's very available around.
I'll see how hardcore it seems. Simone, any plans and your shout outs, closeouts?
Oh man, my shout out's gonna be to Scott Moak. I mean,
Oh man, we didn't even talk about that enough.
I'm so
Simone
sorry,
trying to
and
get him
I
up
do
on
want to
the page.
apologize to so many of the Sacramento Kings fans who may or may not have picked up on my tweet and misinterpreted it. And I'm just going to add a lot more context next time I tweet something out at Golden One Center. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah,
And
I'm gonna be
looking
honest, I
forward
had
to a
no
lot
clue
of
what
football.
that.
I had no
I had
idea
no clue
either.
what
Frankie
you were talking
showed me
about.
Simone's tweet. For those who aren't aware, Simone tweeted out essentially like it was a Not Like Us lyric, but she posted it to like the Kings intros, and Simone essentially it was like, this is going to be the last time you hear this, or is the gist of it. And everyone assumed that Simone was either talking about herself leaving, or a lot of people took it as, are you saying Scott Moak? This is going to be
They
the
thought
last
Scott
time we're going
Moak
to
was
hear
leaving.
Scott Moak do the intro.
They
and
started hitting up actual journalists
Yeah.
and Scott and Moak to be like, why
Who's
are
your
you
source?
leaving? Yeah, it was crazy, you guys.
Who's your source?
That video has 35,000 views on Twitter.
Wow. Chuckles 916,
Simone.
Fog Willow is the best pumpkin farm. Chris, shout outs.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to shout out what should be a really fun weekend. Yeah, no Vikings, no Niners, so my schedule is completely clear in terms of obligation.
Hey, shout out to Chris and his fun weekend.
That's
Real quick, I know we got to go.
loaded.
We forgot to hit up the 916, not down to 6 in the Survivor
Oh
League.
my gosh, yes,
Plenty
we
of
gotta do
time
this.
because I cannot pick anybody for Thursday.
Texans.
Leaning
Take the
Texans, but always appreciate the thoughts and insight. I cannot pick Jets, Seahawks, Chargers, Niners, or Falcons. Texans. go.
Texans over the Patriots. Just do it.
There you go. Thank you for listening to Stiles and Watkins. Thank you to all the callers, texters, sack chatters. Have a great weekend. Whitey Gleason returns. The Drive Guys up next. Whitey Gleason, Kyle Draper, Jay Johnson. Thank you so much to Simone. Did a great job for us. Nate should be back on Monday. Until Monday, secure the back. Like the beam.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check you have a full tank of gas first before road tripping through the desert.
Empty? Seriously? Maybe I can walk.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Maybe I can't.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering